Hello everyone, and welcome back to Rogue Trader Frontier, where Rogue Trader has got lost on the frontier. After the events of last episode, where Meredith Crow started a mutiny, then overcame his own demon, overcame the demon in the vest he was wearing, managed to get himself removed to the Mark of Khorne, get rid of the vest, which is somewhere in the ship right now, and you defeated a demon on the ship, which had taken over part of it, along with the entire insurrection, and then the captain was like, yeah, Crow, you're alright, sure.
It's reassuring.
You did okay. Admittedly, there is a downside. Crow did get stabbed in the chest, and now carries a temporary replacement heart around in a briefcase attached to him, effectively.
Yeah.
Until he can get a bionic heart.
Indeed. Who did the surgery? Was it our...
Oh, it was definitely me.
Okay. I hope you weren't rolling the dice. I hope it was the brain surgeon we have and you were assisting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's probably the case. Yeah.
Otherwise, I would be dead right now.
No,
oh, glorious.
Yes. So, because we don't have a sheepy today, the captain, Tycho Bor, has decided to go hunting and is currently lost in the vents. That leaves Meredith Crow, Alexander Zinter, and Corbulo in charge of the ship. Last time you found yourself on the edge of a system where you'd bumped into a remnant of the Imperium who believed that they were the only part of the Imperium left after warp storms had ravaged the local area. The captain made contact with them and convinced them that, yeah, no, the Imperium's still around. And they decided that they would be coming to board your vessel and take a bit of a perusal while they check out your story.
So, I mean, I'm sure they're already on the way, but how filthy are the upper corridors and decks here? Because
not the worst.
I mean, there are some issues with the bridge, but I think that's fine. But I know that the ready room was, at least yesterday, full of grenade fragments and
bits
body
of
parts.
Meat. Yeah, no, the ready room is still a mess. Definitely don't take them to the ready room.
No, so I want to make sure that we have somewhere that's decently presentable and that there aren't any corpses in the corridors on the way there, nor down to, whatever other room they might want to visit, like engineering or the astropath or the navigator, because if they've lost, they claimed they'd lost contact or they couldn't see the... I've lost the word now.
Astronomicon?
Yes. So I'm sure they're very intrigued by the fact that we have a navigator that can see it. Okay.
In that case, is there a trade or something you want to roll, or do you want to roll scrutiny at like +10?
Let's see. I mean, I could roll. Well, barter would be more of an active skill, so I guess it'd be commerce. Or
commerce +10 could work.
Sure. I also want to go if there's time. I'm pretty good at commerce.
It's pretty clear. You've prepped the place nicely.
Yeah.
You've set aside another room to be the ready room and just moved some furniture in to make it look like that's always been a ready room.
I also want to double check with our navigator if they can think of any way why they would have lost contact.
Yes, what is it, Mr. Zinter?
So,
anything for me?
Well, we're having some guests over, because I'm sure at this point you've heard the captain's hail in communication with the other vessels in the system. I just want to double check with you and make sure that when they claim that they've lost contact, how likely is that? Is that something that can easily happen?
It is possible we are far out. There might not be quality enough stock of navigators to be able to find it. There is a disturbance in the warp in this sector. Alternatively, they could have no more navigators.
So, how easy is it for you in this system to find your way?
My D100.
Oh. Turns out they can't find their way out.
This entire sector is covered in warp storms and disturbances. It is possible. I would not say it is as easy as it is within the segmentum solar.
Okay. No, it's just interesting. I'm trying to figure out what good trade deals we can make. But if you're right and they might be out of, as it were, good stock for navigators, then I'm sure that can be
Navigators in
by
the
us.
Imperium are many noble houses that often interbreed and marry good stock and deliberately train and practice many arcane arts to be able to better ourselves. If they am limited to just one system, then it is possible that their stock is inferior.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to call everyone to the new ready room number 2. We'll call the navigator too, and the priest.
Did you want to call the astropath as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Every important NPC for now, and PC, for that matter. And I will not be sat in the captain's chair. I'll be sat just beside it.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Alex, Corbula.
Mr. Crow.
There's something I'd like to do to clear the air to begin with. I place the case. Sorry?
I was going to say, that's, considering what you did yesterday, that's a really bad joke.
Well, yes. I'm going to place the case on the table for anyone who has concerns. My life is here in front of you. I will not stop you if you choose to end it.
Oh, stop being so dramatic.
No, Alex, this is important still.
I mean,
Tycho
yes,
has
sure, but we're also in the middle of nowhere.
True. I simply want it to be known that I will repent in my own way, and I will continue to serve as I can.
And we'll be watching you, Crow.
Good. Closely, I hope. What has been done with the sword? Has that been destroyed yet?
We're not close enough to the local star.
Good.
When we are, I believe the captain's standing orders were to eject it towards the star.
I would like to discuss that with him. Hold on that order for now. We will follow through after I've had opportunity to discuss, but for now, can we keep it somewhere secure? Is there any danger of keeping it somewhere around people?
Forbidden Law Demonology.
I won't take a bonus this time. I should have took a bonus.
Maybe, you have no idea.
Can I ask the priest?
Roll me D100.
Hope he's feeling lucky.
I'm not honestly too sure. It's a thing of the warp and belongs to a demon. Probably is a bad idea keeping it around anyone. I don't know rightly. It's,
Let's just keep it away from Crow for now.
I do not want to wield it. I do not want to wield it, do not worry. I simply...
Crow looks at the stats again. I mean, I could.
I probably could. It would be really good. I will talk with Tycho regarding this. It is... I do not fear the enemy's armaments as much as I fear demons, and this item has no demon within it.
Okay, and before we take our new guests and show them around, I would like us to talk a bit about what our story is, what just happened here. My suggestion is that we do not talk about it.
There will be
Talk
questions
about what?
regarding the mutiny.
that bit, the mutiny.
Yes.
We're gonna meet these people and we're gonna talk to them like there hasn't been anything like that. We're going to ask them if for trade deals, and we're also hopefully gonna hire some of them as crew on our ship because they have several planets here. We also want to see if we can repair our ship, if they have anywhere we can dock. We're specifically not going to mention that there has been a mutiny, nor the cause of said mutiny. And if you feel that puts you in a weird position, just tell them to talk to me.
I'm curious, Master Zinton, do we have when are they scheduled to visit the vessel as well? Are they on the way?
I would assume that they are underway.
Yeah,
Have
there's a shuttle on the route.
designated route planned for them so they don't encounter any bodies or debris from the
Yes.
place?
I can give you the schedule. I have it here on my data pad.
Yes, that would be perfect. Do you mind handing it over?
I can send you a copy.
Perfect.
Ding! You have mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pick up the thing and just go over it.
Yes. This is a fantastic route. It's actually the shortest distance from point A to point B, so it's definitely clean. Sure. We need more servitors. Crow,
Yes.
we're currently, this is a perfect time to bring it up. I'm definitely lacking some of my servitors. We're lacking the ones who facilitate cleaning operations, repairs, security. Is there any way that between yourself, Master Crow, and Master Zinder could potentially redirect some extra resources towards my way? If we do happen to dock, maybe we could requisition some things. There's some things I really think we could use on board the vessel.
There are a great many things.
I mean, if you have a list of certain assets you want me to try and procure, I can give me that list and I'll see what we can do. My intention is to trade and get what we essentially need to return back to known space and reveal Tycho Station.
Yes.
So if you have any specifics, let me know. When it comes to servitors, you'll have to excuse my ignorance here, but we don't want to use the cultists, right?
Technically, it should be fine, but ideally we'd only use them if we had no other corpses to.
I would suggest we burn them.
That would be something to bring up with the priest, but
I mean,
markings alone.
that's to me.
We're going towards the star, so we could just chuck him into the star together with a sword.
Just put them all in one big package and just drop it off on the way by.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. You mentioned getting what we need in order to get back.
Sure.
I am of the view that as this sector has been lost, it is waiting perhaps to be reclaimed. If someone does not stake ownership,
Mm-hmm.
it is my view, at least, as they have been separated from the Imperium, that returning them to it would provide a degree of ownership, perhaps. I do not think we have to give them anything more than simply returning them to their rightful place in the Imperium.
Ah. What do the rules and regulations say about this? Would this be considered a lost colony that we could just be like, yes, this is ours now?
I hope so. Unfortunately, Tycho is unavailable. Do I know any general knowledge of... Is it like a general knowledge rogue trader law from working with Tycho, or...
Do you have any applicable skills that you might think, like any trade skills or common law skills?
I have common law Coronus.
I can give you that at
I've got
minus
war.
10. That would be a minus 30,
Imperial Navy, any better?
minus 20.
Common law Underworld.
Much more minuses.
I'll try that. No. I'm not exactly sure on the formalities, but
No, me neither. But hopefully, I'll keep that. I'll keep that out of the discussion for now, and then we can wait on the captain to see what he wants to do.
yes, well, we'll see how long he's gone. But in the meantime, if we can do anything to perpetuate his work and speed things up, I think he will be most likely grateful.
It's probably true.
I also imagine if this colony has been lost for some time, we should be wary, as with the fellows of Zar. They were lost. We should be cautious.
Yes.
These individuals are equally lost.
But had they been lost for longer? I don't remember how long the fated of Zar said they.
Almost 3,000 years.
Yeah, so they've been lost 1,000 years longer.
But if memory serves me correct, they were discovered by another, species, were they not?
Yes, they were warring against the pointy-eared Xenos.
Yeah, oh yes,
Uldar, I think you called them. Something like that.
the Eldar.
That's the one. Eldar.
The ships are too smooth, I don't like them.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh, next time we see one, remind me to ram it. I want to test its integrity. So, with that, I assume everything is prepared?
I mean, from my end, we're ready to go.
It does occur to you that since you have no captain, you could totally go back to the fated of Zar and make a trade deal.
Set the course, Commander. Crow's eyes widen for a second. He turns to one of the menials. See to it that a container is brought to my room. The armor, place it within. Cover it
Yes, Captain.
in colours and holy symbols, whatever you need.
Very well, Captain.
I do not want it displayed as some form of pride. I want it contained.
What about all the skulls, Captain?
I still have a skull fetish on my character sheet, so that wasn't corn.
Leave them where they are. Just make sure they're facing forwards, and if you break one, I will break you.
Very well, Captain.
Good. That is all, I think.
One last thing, Master Crow, since the vest has been removed from your body, is everything healing properly? Any scarring, anything that I need to be aware of?
Fortunately, your surgery helped to remove some of this wretched insignia from me, but
how do I feel?
Pretty bad. You've got, some pretty minor burn scars over most of your torso where the jacket was. Your heart's in a box, which means you're tired all the time, and any physical exertion makes you very tired very quickly. You're not doing great. You really should get a bionic heart.
Put it this way, Corgulai. I feel I've aged 100 years. Perhaps, Alexander, I do not like to ask for personal favors, but a heart would be somewhat more useful than this case.
I'll see what I can do.
Yes, and feel free to do it well. That's what Tycho would say, anyway.
It sounded very much like the captain.
Yes,
It's uncanny, Master Crow.
Yes, I'm trying to learn in case one day I find myself in possession of another ship, not this one. Do not want this one.
With that, Crow can't think of anything else to do, so...
Oh, priest.
Yes?
What is your name?
Quintus.
Quintus. After all this is blown over, we will talk. I would like to thank you for your assistance, if that's what we can call it.
Very well. I was just pointing you towards where the holy water was, but no. We may talk.
Indeed. Right. That being said,
Crow's going to retreat to his room to prepare some notes. How do you know how long does he know how long he has?
Yeah, probably about 15 minutes.
Crow will not go to his room. Crow will just sit there on the chair, tapping his fingers.
Anything we need to do before they arrive?
I'm going to walk their route and just make sure everything is in perfect order. I want to make sure that our ship is in best presentation, as most presentable as possible, I should say.
Good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna head down.
Alexander, perhaps you should join Corbula in case they ask questions upon their route.
I mean, I'm gonna greet them once they come onto our ship.
Indeed. Marvelous. I will accompany you. You may have to slow the walking pace a little for me.
Okay, that's fine. Just if you think about saying something, don't.
Don't worry. I won't kill anyone.
That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that you're going to say something that would make it harder for me to put together a good trade deal.
I see. Well, that is your forte. I will not try to interfere.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay. Crow's going to go and start walking down now as he's a bit slow.
Okay. Last check.
These look like loot rolls to me.
So, and who is greeting them at the hangar bay?
I am.
Okay, everyone else is going to be in the briefing room.
Yeah, I'd say while he's meeting them, I'm probably just pacing the route just to double check everything's perfect, and then I'm gonna head to the meeting room.
I'll go with Alex, but let him lead the way.
Sure. Corbula, make me a scrutiny roll at plus 20.
Thank you for that plus 20, by the way. My scrutiny's garbage.
Yeah, you spot nothing wrong along the entire route. You're good.
Spotless. Perfect.
Alexander, Crow, you wait in the hangar bay. A small flyer flies in and begins to settle down. It looks vaguely imperial. You're kind of familiar with the sort of swept wing design. Looks somewhat like an Aquila lander, although the rear section is much more bulbous, much larger. Not quite as sleek or compact as you're expecting.
Is it because they probably have some other type of engine rather than...
Make a techies tech.
I've since yesterday I've learned a lot of things about tech use, but not that much.
It could just be anything, really.
I'll do a Navy test just to give it a little eyeball.
Sure.
Could also be full of hidden people.
That's a 9.
Yeah, with 5.4 degrees of success based on your Imperial Navy knowledge, that's probably where the engine is, and that certainly doesn't seem to be like the plasma reactor, or at least a plasma reactor that you're expecting.
Interesting. Be cautious, Alex.
Always.
I hand my case to a menial beside me and make the Aquila. Now I've got 2 hands free again.
Okay. As it lands, the bay door opens almost instantaneously, and out march very quickly in a kind of combat formation an entire squad of 12 heavily armed and armored, what you would probably call stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
They do the once over. I assume no one has a weapon drawn.
No,
Nope,
I'm just gonna look at them.
I'm still making the Aquila at them.
Okay. They fan out, check the room, and then about a minute later, 3 figures walk down. All of them seem to be wearing vaguely dark green uniforms with silver braiding on them. Some medals that look vaguely like Imperial medals, but they're all completely different. It's just the way they're displayed and the way they hang. Very thematic for stuff that you may have experienced, especially Meridus. The first guy who walks down has 2 bionic eyes. Hand is a bionic, all of them plated in chrome. Looks a bit older. Actually, let me just check one thing. Yeah, looks a lot older. Two to his side look like probably lower-ranked individuals based on the amount of braiding. It's significantly less. Both of whom seem to have these chrome augments as well. One of them having an entirely chrome half of his head, including the jaw. And the other one seems to have a hand which ends in multiple quill segments instead of fingers.
Well, I guess I'm gonna go up and greet them.
Who would you be?
I am Alexander Sinter. I am the seneschal of this ship, and this is Meridius Crow. While you talk to our captain over the hail. Unfortunately, he has been for reasons slightly too complex to go into right now, he is currently indisposed, but we have been tasked with letting you see the ship and also possibly talk about future collaborations together.
The guy at the side with the quill hands starts writing on a piece of parchment. What was that about a mutiny I understand you needed help with?
Oh no, there is that business has been sorted.
Is the ship safe?
Yes.
Very well. Lead on to a suitable location for us to be able to continue our talks.
Sure. Let me escort you to our ready room by the bridge. This way.
Walks past you. The stormtroopers fall in, some of them moving ahead, some of them lagging behind.
What are they equipped with? Stormtroopers. So carapace and...
Appears to be some sort of carapace and... Let me just double check something. Yeah, seems to be some pretty decent carapace, along with some lasgun type equipment. Looks slightly more sleek, and you're not too sure about the design.
I'll give a few the eyeball as they go past and just inspect their equipment. Only I don't stop any of them.
Sure. You have tech use?
Nope.
Okay, then they're fine. They walk in silence unless you talk to them until they get to the ready room.
I'm going to talk to them.
Okay.
But I'm just essentially going to explain what we're seeing on the ship, since they've lost contact with the Imperium for the last 2,000 years. So they might have, some of the things on the ship might seem strange. So just explaining things to them, essentially. And,
no, that looks familiar. We are familiar with your lighting methods.
Good, excellent. This is useful information. It's always hard to judge how, when you get further out into the expanse, how colonies or that has lost contact, how far away they are from what the current goings on in the Imperium and such.
Yes, your captain said something about that. The Imperium, to our best of our records, was lost.
Yeah, that's not correct. But we can go through all of that. I'm sure I can wrangle up some history books, so you can get some insights into how the war ended 2,000 years ago.
That would be appreciated. Make a charm roll at +10.
Okay. Let's see what's. Oh, I'm not good at this.
If what you say is true, we would much be interested in getting back in contact with the Imperium. It's only recently that the warp storms have died down.
Well, of course, I'm sure. My captain and the rest of the ship is more than willing to help out. My hope is that we can have a frank discussion about our wants and needs and draw up some kind of arrangement or agreement that would benefit us both.
And how do you explain the lack of the Emperor's light in the last 2,000 years?
Well, my understanding is that you've been. I don't actually know. I've been talking to our navigator that we use, and according to them, this system itself is full of void storms, making it harder to reach out, as it were. But other than that, I'll be honest, I do not have a good explanation other than I think the word our navigator used was bad stock. As in your astropaths and such might not have been up to snuff.
What is the role of a navigator? Is that simply the person who charts the course?
Yes, it's the person that charts the course through the warp, and also, reaches out and does all of that. All of that business, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure how all of that works. You know what they say, leave the navigator business to the navigators. Let the astropaths deal with astropath stuff. If you try and understand all of it, yeah, that's no. I much prefer to look down, figure out, investment opportunities, a good deal, making sure that our crew and everyone else is as happy as they need to be.
Quite. Well, that sounds all very interesting. Maybe your navigator can explain some of this to us in more detail.
That's definitely a possibility.
Make a note of that. Right. Well,
this is the ready room.
Thank you. Interesting.
I'll show each of them to a seat.
Yeah, I was probably sitting before they got in. I stand up as they come in.
In which case I will introduce Corbelo.
Let me just check something.
If they hate tech priests.
Tech priest.
Yes, I am Explorator Corbelo of the Adeptus Mechanicus. How are you doing?
Well, your fellows here tell me that Terra still lives and the Emperor is still alive, and that the light of the Emperor still shines. So, quite a revelatory day.
It must be a joyous occasion for you then.
If it turns out to all be true, very. I'm keeping a record of events. Gestures over to the guy again.
Oh, of course, I am doing the same. I also have an autoquill out.
I sit back down.
Wilson's recording it all via camera.
So, I thought we'd go through our own needs and wants, assuming you're satisfied with the state of our ship.
Well, it doesn't appear to be any current mutinies going on, and it doesn't seem to be a massive threat so far.
Nope. So, from our perspective, of course, since from our perspective, we've, of course, and I mean no offense, but we've essentially come into a system with a lost colony that has disappeared from the Imperium over 2,000 years ago, and it would be amiss from our side to not investigate what has happened. I mean, I know you've already shared some of that story with us, but of course, once we return to other parts of the expanse where we have more Imperium contacts, I'm sure they want to know the full story. So we are keen to investigate and see what happened those 2,000 years ago, and I think we can hopefully discover that together. You might also have noticed that we have been on an exploratory trip, and we still are, which means that we are low on some resources that you might be able to provide for us, hopefully, under the assumption that your colony, other than lacking interstellar travel, is still safe and doing well. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there are some things that we can provide you with, since we have, 2,000 years on you, as it were.
You seem to be under a misapprehension. We have not been stagnating for 2,000 years. We've been developing and improving ourselves. In addition, we do have interstellar travel and have a few colonies outside of this system.
Well, that is very worrying then. If you claim that you've lost the Emperor's Light, we definitely need to make sure that there is no heresy going on.
Quickly, you say you've been improving upon the technologies that you have? What manner of improvements have you been making?
We have acquired certain lost relics which have allowed us to develop certain technologies.
That's very, very interesting.
As I say that, I'm like quickly jotting down these things in a notepad. I put my head back up.
And ambiguous. Exactly. I would like to, if we can come to some agreement, of course, further investigate and study your improvements.
If we come to some agreement.
If we come to some agreement, which we will. I'm sure we will. Otherwise, what's even the point? I think we've kind of established a baseline here. It seems like your current need is to get back into contact with the Imperium and the Emperor's Light. We can help you with that. We, on the other hand, of course, would like to see your technological advancements to make sure, I'm sure Corbulo is mainly intrigued, but
Drag this from the record. Quite honestly, we need to be putting back in contact the Emperor's Light and rejoin our kin in the fold if it is true. However, of course, there are certain officials in government whose belief in the Emperor is maybe weaker than their own want for power. So I would be cautious before making any overt actions.
Well, then, if we're being frank, you should be aware, and I'm sure you are, that if there are certain people within the Imperium that once we've reported this back to the Imperium is going to be shocked, nay, alarmed that there is an enclave that has been without contact for 2,000 years and has improved upon certain technologies. If this is presented the wrong way to the Imperium of Man, it would be seen as heretical. And
are you threatening us?
No, I am just being very honest that you've been gone for 2,000 years. You need to look at how this looks from the outside. My hope is that we can come to an agreement in something that benefits us both, and I certainly think that we can. But at the same time, you need to be aware of your situation.
Make a barter check.
Sure.
Well, your ship is obviously damaged and in need of some repair. How about you simply delay reporting our world until we can sort out certain political figures who would best be sidelined.
Mm-hmm. I think that is, I think that's a fair suggestion, and I'm sure we can come to some agreement. I think we also, if possible, I have one or two personal items I've been looking for that you might be able to help me with. Mainly, we're looking for some bionic body parts.
I've got
And
my
I'm sure-
case on the table right now. My fingers.
And I know that Corbulo has a list of some other gear that he's interested in as well.
Yes, there are a few things I would like to acquire.
Well, we can always facilitate something for you. I'm surprised that the Imperium has not continued with the rudimentary replacements. Those seem crude.
I fully agree. And as you can see, our exploration of this region of space has been both trying and demanding on our resources.
Quite. It is not a friendly region of space.
No.
So, in return for you not reporting us just yet, might I add, off the record, my belief in the Emperor is more strong than most people. However, certain figures on our government would cause problems. It is not, of course, because I wish to delay rejoining our kin. It is because I am worried for the state of our colonies.
I'm curious, do you have a sector or a sect of tech priests or anybody representing the Adeptus Mechanicus?
Yes. They've managed to survive 2,000 years, do not worry.
These political figures. What are their beliefs?
Oh, just as any Imperial servant, their beliefs are normal and so forth, but you know certain figures don't want to give up power more than they really should serve the Emperor. If they become subservient to an outside power, even one that is eventually subservient to the Emperor, that would demean their personal goals.
Well,
Do you have a suggestion for how to deal with said people? Because if you were asking for our help to, let's say, a more speedy recovery to come back into the Emperor's light, I'm sure we can see if we can use our resources to help you facilitate that.
Well, I would not, of course, recommend at all that certain people need to be removed from the government, but if you could possibly manage that without pushing over anyone else into their beliefs, that would, of course, speed things up.
how
I see.
powerful are they?
I would say that there is probably less than 100 of these sort of individuals, all told, even across the entire government.
Let me go through the resources we have available on our ship, and we can see how we can best be of help in convincing those people.
Might you be able to puts down the quill. Obviously, I want the Imperial Remnant, which is our people, to rejoin the Emperor as soon as possible. If instead we go for a much simpler method, we could simply try and make orbit around our home planet and destroy the Capitol building. I would take interim command of the fleet and would be in direct contact with you.
That's a simple solution. Generally, I know that my captain favors simple solutions. And that is probably something that can easily be forgiven, especially if it turns out that some of the, politicians, as it were, have maybe yearned for the Emperor's light as much as they should have.
Quite.
It's an interesting proposition, but it's not one I think me, Crow, and Corbulo can give you an answer to right now. This is something we need to confer with our captain, but I am pretty sure he would favor such a solution.
Does this guy seem truthful? I passed by 0.6.
Or I mean...
He crit failed. He is a very strong believer in the God Emperor. If you were to rate his belief versus his political desire, with political desire over everything being 1 and belief over, own political power being a 10, he would be a 10.
So he's definitely burned the heretics.
Oh yeah, he's completely selfless, but also quite hardline in that anyone who is lower down on the scale is an impediment.
What was his name again?
You haven't got it, actually. It's Tyrell.
Tyrell.
Yeah.
Our men are in need of some shore leave. That will allow you some time and allow us to reflect on your proposition.
If you were to land your ship on one of our planets or to drop near one of our planets and release your people into shore leave, they would be mixing with the local population, which could cause a lot of problems if this is not dealt with, because they would start talking about things. Is that not correct?
That's a fair point. Is there any place in any of your colonies that we could keep them isolated?
A military station, possibly, but that wouldn't be the exact same as shore leave. We could certainly give you access after sorting out the current political problem. Alternatively, we could possibly drop them in the middle of one of our worlds in an inhabited area. Again, not exactly the same as shore leave.
No.
Tell me, how come this has not been dealt with before? Suddenly, I see a lot of haste in your eyes to deal with this matter. How come it has been allowed to fester?
Because I did not have outside evidence that there is something to the contrary of our state here before. Secondly, the haste might be worthwhile because as we speak, sensors in system are also picking up your approach.
Would your system dealing with the problem internally not be a good demonstration of faith?
Yes, it would just take longer. And I cannot guarantee the outcome.
Would you allow us some moments to talk? This is...
Very well.
In the meantime, I have some food. I assume we've prepared something for them to... Oh.
No.
Oh, hello. Someone's at the front door.
Oh. Don't open it without closing the airlock.
Because that's Servo Alexa.
You know what? Feel free to have a talk.
Okay.
Well, this is quite the proposition, Alex.
I mean, it seems pretty straightforward to me.
If they do not follow the Emperor, then they are to be purged. Perhaps they could be given an offer of salvation.
It's a strong statement to start out with, and it might put us in a good, good bargaining position. If they've been out of contact for 2,000 years. The best way to make sure there aren't any heretics is to get rid of the head of the possible heretics. And worst case scenario, it's not that many people.
Yes. I can't help but feel that making a show of it would be more powerful. Simply rounding them up into a den and firing from orbit seems cowardly.
But it does sort of show that a true Imperium and strike from outside of the planet.
True.
You know that the power is real.
The only question I have is how do we make sure that everyone's in the building? And also, can we target a building with the current state of our ship?
Should be able to target, but it's hard to say how effective we would be at making sure all the required people are there when we do blow it up.
Actually, to be fair, this is pretty, like, our story's pretty strong, isn't it? We roll in, we blow up the building, and then essentially our story is you've been blocked from the Emperor's light for 2,000 years. We've fixed that. Congrats.
Along with a military takeover.
Full regalia show the true strength. And
I mean, we're a rogue trader ship. We're a trading ship.
Oh, along with the navy that he'll provide.
Sure. Yes, it's clearly a military takeover. The question is how I did not get any sense that he was hiding anything from us other than the fact that the people in control currently might not be sharing his longing for the Emperor's light, as it were.
I would perhaps still like some proof of this. He seems devout, but it is more than possible that he has his own agendas he's wishing to push. We could be being manipulated here. Bombing 100 individuals could easily be wiping out the only true followers of the Imperium that are still down there. We don't know this place.
So we'd have to roll in, I guess, hail the government and see who responds.
I am.
How technically, how far out can we start hailing a planet-based colony?
As soon as you want.
Because it is going to take us some time to get there. And at this point, they probably noticed that something is going on further out in the solar system, so they probably scanned that there's a new ship around.
I feel we should act fairly quickly. I wonder if executing a few of them would make the others fall into line. As someone that has recently been shown redemption, I am wary to execute others with such haste.
one thing I would like to bring up, though, if we're not quick and swift and do all this at one go, the technological improvements that they've been making over the past 2,000 years, who knows what they've managed to accomplish. If we don't do it all in one time, they may have time to prepare. We don't know what we could be walking into.
Yeah. Did we get any proper scans from the ships that we hailed?
You haven't scanned them because that would be possibly seen as an act of aggression.
Right. Because if he already has a proper navy, then why hasn't he blown them out of the water? Is it because he doesn't have the armaments to do that, or is it because he wouldn't be able to sustain the military takeover?
I think it was that he lacked the reason to do it, as the Imperium he assumed was lost.
Yes,
if he does it, even with the excuse, it'll look like he's deliberately trying to take power.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do it, it can be seen as the Imperium coming along and saving the day.
Yeah.
I am supportive of such a plan, but perhaps I will ask him of some shred of proof before we go ahead with this.
Realistically, at this point, we all know our captain. how likely is it that our captain wouldn't love this plan?
We would be firing already, I believe.
Yes, it's a very straightforward plan.
Yes.
So if we don't want this to happen, we probably have to act before he's back from his hunting trip.
Perhaps, Alex, you can secure some guarantees from this. This is asking still an act of faith from us. I would like to know that our work is going to be appreciated.
I wonder, can we bring in can we just wrangle up the priest? Because a quick question about testing one's faith. We've recently, well, just now, reached a lost colony, essentially. And do you know of any good ways to test a person's faith in the Emperor?
There are several ways to test someone's faith. The tried and tested ways, of course. The trial by candle. You place a candle on the back of someone's hand. They hold their arm outstretched, and you light the candle. And you have to let the candle stay there on your outstretched arm, palm downturned, until it melts through completely and goes out. If the candle falls off, if the candle goes out before it fully burns through the wick, then their faith is not impure enough.
That seems like something even someone devoted to something else could do.
Yes.
I am a bigger fan of the trial by sword, but perhaps you could simply ask them a few questions about their...
Asking them about their faith is a way to... Why would they not simply lie?
They will lack... What we need to do is establish he has the knowledge of...
People could know
the
facts about the ecclesiarchy and the emperor. It doesn't make that faith strong.
Sure, that's why I asked if you had a good way to test people's faith. And I don't think the candle test is necessarily a good metric, considering...
The ecclesiarchy have used this test for thousands of years.
I think that is precisely why it is an issue. It's old-fashioned.
I wish Crow actually knew the
You've
trial
used
by
the same
sword.
technology for thousands of years, and the mechanicus.
Because
Why
it
is
works,
yours?
Priest, it
So
works.
does the candle test.
Here's my issue. We know that some of our new friends have augmented or replaced some of their limbs with bionic limbs.
Well, that's cheating.
Yes, exactly. And therefore, I don't necessarily trust the candle test because it's cheatable. I want something that's not cheatable. If you need to go do some research, that's fine. But
I will go do some research on the matter. It's perfectly plausible. I can do that.
Corbulo, would you be able to dig up any information through their cogitators if we go aboard their ship?
Absolutely. The only issue that could potentially arise is my searches will be quite intrusive and thorough. It would be nice. Well, again, it just depends on if we'd be able to do it with their permission or not. Would be easy to they're prepared for.
My thought is that if they are able to show any deviations from the imperial teachings in the acts of these individuals, then that will be sufficient, and perhaps we can leave the personal aspect out of this, as we lack a... I'm going to just vox to the astropath. Can you read minds?
Yes, I can read minds if I need to.
Right, come here.
Very well. Could say please once in a while.
Do it well.
It's not the same as a please.
Please.
A few minutes later,
do
the
it.
astropath turns up. What do you wish of me? Do you want me to read the priest? No, you're not reading my mind. We don't
No.
make money.
We have some new acquaintances from a lost colony, and we want to make sure that our new friends' belief in the Emperor is pure. But as we've already discussed with the priest, not necessarily all of the tests to determine that are, foolproof. And if we're gonna come to an agreement with them, we essentially want to make sure that we come to an agreement with the right people.
That can be done. If you will convince them that breaking into their minds is fine. Otherwise,
Well,
they will know that I am attempting to read their minds.
Of course, and that's kind of where we need to figure out a way to present this where it's us testing their fate rather than anything else.
I see no reason for them to be concerned. They're asking us a great deal. If
Sure.
they are holy, then they will have nothing to fear.
That's true.
If they are reluctant, then perhaps there is something they are hiding.
Could we do the candle test as well, anyway?
I mean, they don't. I think, doesn't that guy literally have a bionic arm?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's got a bionic arm.
He passes the
The other
test.
arm, then.
I mean, how long would it normally take this candle to burn down?
Somewhere between 3 and 5 hours.
Okay, well, if you stand here with that arm out for 2 hours,
We don't
can
have
test
3 to
it.
5 hours.
He
right
holds
now.
up the backs of his hands, and you can see these burn marks.
yeah, sure, but we've already been through this.
Very
I've
well.
really-
You don't need to do my method. Why record me here and ask my advice anyway?
Feel bad now.
I gave him an option. He's the one that didn't want to stand holding his arm out for like 2 hours.
Does anyone object to psychic evaluation? I feel this is the most prudent.
No, but I think we should. I think we should let them know that
Oh, of course, of course.
this is something we want to try.
We will present this to them in an amenable way. I assume there is not too much risk to their health.
Minimal. Using powers from beyond can be taxing and can cause side effects. I would not countenance such use of powers frivolously.
Well, I'm sure they will accept the risk. Ah, Tycho! That's good timing. I was just about to kill someone.
Good. Carry on.
Crackle.
So, Captain, we've, as we instructed, we've greeted our new guests and talked to Tyrell. Was it?
High
Yes.
Commodore Tyrell.
Yeah, High Commodore Tyrell. And he's essentially requested our assistance in. He seems to be very much in favor of the Emperor's Light. Just generally, he seems devoted, but he has also noted that not everyone in the system, especially some of the higher politicians or leaders, share that, because of course they've been away from the Emperor's Light for 2,000 years. Thus, essentially, he'd like us to help him with, well, what can only be described as a military takeover. We roll in, we destroy their capital building with the leaders inside of it, and then go down and, well, hooray, we've liberated the system, and here's the Emperor's Light. Which seems, on the one hand, very simple, an elegant solution. Of course, the worry that we were just discussing is whether we can trust Tyrell, and we were looking at different options to well, for lack of a better term, have him prove his devotion to the Emperor. Because
Psychic evaluation is the current
yes,
Psychic evaluation.
Astropath has agreed to probe.
but this is of course something we would ask Tyrell if he's comfortable with before we do it. This is not a cloak and dagger tactic, as it were.
Okay. What do we get out of it?
Well, for one, we'll have an easier time. We can put together a proper trade deal with them, and then have that enforced, because then they'd be in charge of literally everything. There's also the case of them having currently apparently interstellar travel, but they do not have any contact with the Imperium or the Emperor's Light. That's something we can provide.
So quickly on that point as well, they have been improving upon their own technology over the past 2,000 years. So it's very heretical, Captain.
And they have augments that look better than ours, to put it mildly.
Yes, they do, unfortunately.
And we do need to get in contact with them, and we've lost a lot of crew. So if we'll be able to recruit more crew here, that's probably a good thing, and also give our current crew some shore leave to raise morale, and of course repair our ship.
Okay. That would be good. Especially as we're still quite far out into unknown.
Yes.
I had a thought as well, Tycho. Perhaps these individuals would be willing to repair your station for a less of a price compared to the Mechanicum, allowing us to trade the Archaeotech with the Mechanicum for an even greater reward.
Well, we should stick with the Mechanicus if we can.
If you prefer. It is your choice. I feel that they will likely need a stop. I don't know the terminology the navigators use between here and Imperial Space, and Tycho Station is indeed halfway between the two.
Yeah. Now, the question marks in this whole scenario are a few. Like we talked about, from our meeting, Tyrell seems very genuine in his request. And he acknowledges, the nature of said request, but we have no information as to if what he stated is true. If there, in fact, are politicians that aren't necessarily that keen on the Emperor and the Imperium of Man, and we don't know what happened 2,000 years ago. I talked to the Navigator, and the Navigator's general idea was that maybe their stock of people that could sense the light had dwindled, and they couldn't produce any more, but that does not necessarily seem to be the case based on the few things Tyrell has talked about it. Apparently they just lost it 2,000 years ago. It might be that these people are more heretical than we know, and they're just masquerading. But once again, based on our meeting with Tyrell, at least he does not seem to be heretical. In fact, quite the opposite. He seems to be very devoted to the Emperor.
I'm not an excellent judge of character, but that man, I am certain, with a critical fail on a deception test is good. He is worthy.
Wait, you failed a critical?
No, I passed scrutiny and he rolled a 99. So basically I got to see into his soul, and I saw his genealogy going back 5 generations, and he seemed pretty cool.
You saw the conception of him.
Yeah,
he seemed like
I
a
saw
really...
his character notes.
I saw his character creation. He seemed like a really cool dude. They're in the next room, if you would like to meet them yourself. Radio room number 2. We'll talk about number 1. My apologies again.
That's fine. Well, let's see what everyone thinks. So,
Are you happy for the psychic evaluation? Or to be proposed at least?
yeah, if he is willing to go through with that, then that's fine.
Go below, any other thoughts?
Truthfully, the only thing that really sticks in mind is these potential heretical upgrading and improvements that they've been doing. That could be a thread that leads to something far bigger than we're anticipating. Just mulling it over the possibilities. We need to be cautious, is all. And I feel that whatever we do, it needs to be succinct and it needs to be direct.
Well, shall we?
Let's go talk to them.
Okay.
You done talking now?
Yes. Allow me to reintroduce you to our Captain Tycho Bohr.
Captain Bohr holds its hand.
So we've discussed your proposal, and it is very interesting, but it would be amiss for us to not make sure that we are, as it were, on the right side of the Emperor's light here. And for that reason, we would request that you let our astropath probe your mind so we can be sure of your intentions.
Charm minus 30.
Oof, that's hard.
No,
believe in you, Alex.
But not that hard.
Yeah.
I'm reluctant to because of all the secrets that I'm entrusted with as part of the Imperial Remnant Navy, but provided your Psyker is willing to keep their mouth shut about anything outside of the remit you're searching for, this is in the name of the Emperor, I'm willing to go that.
That is, I'm sure, something we can put down in writing and make sure that the astropath is aware of.
Very well.
Okay, let's bring in. I'm gonna bring in our astropath and explain that I would like him to look into Tyrell and make sure that his intentions are true. That is essentially all the information we are looking for. He may have other secrets in his mind that we should not be privy to, and he should not tell us about them.
Okay. Tycho, roll me a D100 for the astropath.
I feel so bad for suggesting this now.
Time to have someone's head blow up. Oh!
Why did I say anything? Why?
I'm gonna go.
Why?
Yep.
You're really tired, right? Like you're gonna go lie down.
Why does this keep happening? Just like as a general thing.
I really hope he doesn't die.
I feel like EE took advantage of me because I'm non-compass mentis right now, and he's like, "Oh, I can get Sheepy to roll this, so good."
Who's not taking advantage of Sheepy?
Chat can't roll again because that was an NPC, which they don't have fate points normally. So roll me a D100 on the perils of the warp table.
Oh my god.
Everyone around dies.
Okay, so, yeah.
That's not horrible.
Warp power courses through the Psychic body, scorching his soul. The Psychic cannot use any powers for 1 hour and suffers 5 corruption points.
Fuck.
So yeah, the Psychic begins to focus. You see light shimmering across under their eyelids before they get racked by this kind of very faint fire. that's very transparent as their back twitches and they arch and they just then keel forwards.
I'm unfortunately unable to use my powers right now. If you want to wait a few hours, I might be able to.
Well, okay. Well, let's maybe show off some other parts of the ship and have something to drink in the meantime.
Yes.
I'll just mention in our rogue trader tongue, if the gentleman was willing to subject himself to this, then he has my trust.
I will answer in Rogue Trader tongue that does seem reasonable, but maybe he could also expect us to have, real shitty astropath.
Yep.
After making fun of his quote-unquote stock of psychic.
It could be worse. There were many other things on that table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try and smooth this over by showing some other parts of the ship, like the cool spider we have.
That's awfully interesting beast. We have many of those on many of our planets.
Ooh.
Well, not
You
exactly like that, but similar.
No, of course. Would you happen to have any tamers of such beasts?
Oh, many. Our planets are numerously populated, and we have enough people around that enough animals that they need training occasionally. The
Interesting.
ecosystem on some of our planets is quite extensive. Mostly canyony and mountainous and caves and so on. But we do have some areas that are a little bit more extravagant, swamps, etc.
No, that's always the problem, of course, being on an exploratory vessel. That once you do find interesting beasts, it's a lot harder to tame them since they're no longer in their natural habitat.
I can imagine. Well, if you were trying to requisition such an individual on our worlds at some point, it might be entirely possible.
Oh, well, it's very it's good. It's good to know.
Might we have a tour of your engine room?
Let me.
I'm sure that's a question for the tech priest. Don't worry.
You just muted yourself.
Currently under some general repairs. It should be fine within the next day or two if you wish to take a tour.
Make a deceive roll.
I thought we cleaned out the
engine room didn't get that bad. Like, not much happened in the engine room.
I think you just rigged it to explode. That was it.
No, you rigged the munition
Yeah, that was
storage.
the-
Oh, yeah.
Is there any way I'd be able to use like a techno babble, like techno jargon? I guess it still comes down to deceive.
Still
I'll roll
deceive.
yeah, it still is at the end of the day. This is that's not very good.
no.
If you don't want us looking at your engine room, you can simply say so, tech priest. I understand. I'm a military man myself.
Yes, I would like to go over it myself before I show you it. That's fine.
Perhaps
I'm sure
after I
we-
have my mind probed, you can show me around.
I'm sure we've cleaned out all of the gunk from our last time in the warp.
Just, yes, let me check. I'll message my other tech priest.
Tech priests always so worried about their tech.
Yes, well, quite. I know the problems.
I'm gonna hit my Vox.
Yes, tech priest Octave.
Yes, Explorator Corbula.
Is the engine bay suitable for a guided tour?
Yes, I believe so. It is up and running and functional.
Perfect. Just make sure you go over everything, get rid of any potential debris or whatnot, make sure it's clean.
Well, the Omnissire's devices are always well kept, but very well.
Just to double check. Thank you very much.
Of course, Corbula.
Hit my Vox.
Yes, we could head down there whenever, I suppose. Engine bay seems to be in good condition.
Thank you, Tech Priest. I appreciate it. I know it can be taxing to show individuals not of the cult some of the devices.
It's this way.
I'll tag along for this as well. Curious. As we go there, tell me, you mentioned before you were at war with chaos in the sector, I believe. Do you have any other enemies?
A few around here. There are, of course, Xenos beasts that plague this sector.
Yes. How do you feel about that scum?
Oh, quite as you said, scum.
Have you met one with pointy ears? Uldar, was it?
Eldar.
Damn, I'll get that right eventually. Have you met one of these?
I am familiar with them as you speak.
I know where some live. We'll talk about this another time.
Okay, very well.
Oh yes, we did destroy 2 of their ships, didn't we?
Oh, I was thinking of the other ones, but yes, there were those 2. They were
Oh, the other ones, yeah.
more pointy than the others, yes.
Hmm.
We've...
I'll give him a little tale of the recent battle we did of destroying 2 Xeno ships, just to try and butter him up a little bit.
Make a charm roll.
I will also show my sword as well for a +5.
Can I help Crow out here by just smoothing some of the things he says over?
Could I phrase the whole thing in Imperial Navy terminology and roll Imperial Navy to describe a sequence of events?
Either Alexander can give you a bonus by helping, or you with that can give Alexander a bonus. It's up to you which way you roll.
I will give Alex a bonus.
Sure, Alex, you get a +5 bonus to your charm roll.
Okay.
Oh, I could, yeah.
Rolled a 93.
Oh,
Yes, I'm sure that happened.
It really did. I flew really well. You should have seen me piloting. Ugh.
Yes, I'm sure that your one vessel took out an entire squadron of Dark Eldar Corsairs.
I show him my sword just to try and like
It is a pretty sword.
stop the conversation. Be like,
Have you seen something like this before?
Has he seen something like that before? No. It's a very nice sword.
It is.
I put it back away.
Oh, this is the engine bay, is it?
Yes, it is.
Please, explain to someone not of the Mechanicus, your miraculous devices, Tech Priest.
Yes,
I would be humbled.
This way, I will show you our warp engines first. It's usually the most exciting. This here is a Strelov Mark 1 warp engine. It's quite powerful. Allows us to get from point A to point B with a properly trained navigator at the head.
Does it normally take 1 week per unit of distance?
It really depends on the conditions of the warp. It's best to it would be best if you were to speak with the navigator on such matters when dealing with the travelings of the warp. Yes, sir, this is the warp engine.
And I take probably longer than needed to go over individual systems on the warp engine, describing why I chose this color of the conduit and just way overgoing it.
Yes, I can show you the our class 2 Jovian pattern drives now, if you wish.
Yes, I'd very much like to see those. Please.
Yes, they're over here. Yes, these take up more of the ship's power, but we use these when we're in ships or in system.
And I begin the same sort of lecture. I get a ladder. I'm climbing up on a ladder to show certain parts of up top and pre-trigger firing the ignition to show it partially spool up. Just a basic overview of all the inner workings of that drive. Probably takes about a half hour if they don't stop me.
Interesting. No. Keep going on. This is fascinating. Make more notes. Thank you. How does it work? What's it use?
Unfortunately, you cannot leave with your notes. That was not...
Stop making notes.
Have we come to some sort of agreement on trading technologies?
No, we are not at that point yet, so...
Well, I'm sure we can't replicator drive by taking a few notes. Obviously I'm very sorry to have offended you. Feel free to scratch those notes out.
I think it'll be fine for you to make note of the possible tech uses Corbula talks about, or
Very well.
how well our tech performs for a future trading agreement purpose.
So how many units of power are we talking about? Are we talking about 10?
Well, it depends on which device. The warp engine takes up approximately, or generates around 10 units of power. The Class 2 drives approximately 45.
The warp engine actually should use power. I don't know what that was generating. The actual Jovian drive is the one that generates the power. 45.
Yes, it generates 45 units of power.
45 in this.
Standard, yes, 45 standard units of power. Why does that sound odd to you?
It sounds a little bit high.
What are your typical outputs for your vessels?
A little lower.
A little specific. Can you be more specific?
Typically, you'd expect a drive of this class. Fusion drives tend to run about 25, 30. Corbula.
Interesting.
That's not a fusion drive you've got, it's a plasma drive.
Yes, that is interesting, to say the least. Master Tyrell, yes.
Hi, Commodore.
Hi, Commodore. Excuse me, nomenclature and hierarchy is my weak
No,
point.
of course, I understand. You're somewhat overwhelmed, of course, meeting old parts of the Imperium and myself meeting newer parts of the Imperium and tech priests who have been separated for quite a while. Don't worry.
Yes, these discrepancies, though, in our technology being far superior to yours in this matter specifically, raises the interesting point of what sort of improvements have your tech priests been making? What have they been improving upon, specifically?
You would have to talk to our tech priests. I am unfortunately not able to really describe 2,000 years of technological shift, as myself am only 50 years old. He looks more like 60, 65.
Stay shiny.
Just there's no, groundbreaking achievements that your civilization has marked, or?
Well, it's hard to say groundbreaking achievements over 2,000 years when I'm not a student of technology. You
Yes,
might
but
have to talk
for example, the invention of the warp drive, for example, is a massive achievement. Have there been any technological
No. Inventions are heretical.
Absolutely, but when you mention improvements, I just wanted to be clear.
Basing our technology on ancient technology that we'd found on...
Interesting. So you have caches of archaeotech in your system? You must. You have to. Can I see them? Zinta, I'd like to see the caches of archaeotech.
We can talk to our tech priests.
I'll make a note of it. My autocroll makes a note of it.
Do you have any Astartes here?
You talk of the superhumans made
Big
by the
yes.
Emperor?
Yes.
No.
I'm just curious. I've only heard stories of them myself. I've only ever seen one.
Oh. Along with some Dark Elder Corsairs?
Yes.
Sure.
We should have the scans on our logs if you don't believe us.
Well, if you could send them over to my ship, I will peruse them later.
Tell me, would you, what are your thoughts on studying Xeno weaponry?
That would be heretical.
Good.
The Emperor makes far better devices and curates mankind so that we may develop the more superior technology through the Omnissiah and through the Mechanicus themselves.
That is true.
I go for a little walk and beep through to Tycho to hide his shuriken cannon.
Oh, I've been carrying it around.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Why
So-
do I need to hide my shuriken cannon?
They are Puritans, it would seem. The nature and presence of Xeno weaponry makes them somewhat edgy.
But we have a warrant of trade.
True. It was simply a formality, an idea. It does not matter. Your warrant is the authority here, after all. I will return to keeping an eye on them.
I'll continue to just observe as they're going around the ship. Just make sure they don't do any snooping.
They're just like walking around. Crow's just like over their shoulder, looking at everything they're doing.
Yep. Enough time passes, you can go back to your your psyker if you want.
Oh, let's try it again.
I'm feeling a little bit better. We can try again if you wish. I'm going to focus really hard right now. Tycho, please roll me D100.
No, I'm not doing it again.
Can you tell him to do it well?
Do it well and someone else do it. I'm not rolling for the
Who's feeling lucky?
I'm feeling lucky, but
Oh.
I usually roll bad when I
Oh
feel
God,
lucky.
not Corbulo.
So it's
Go on.
your choice. Yeah,
God.
that's a good idea. Please, you roll instead. It's probably best for me not to roll when I feel lucky.
I'm rolling.
I'm unable to really contact the Imperium at the moment, I'm afraid, Captain. You might need to think of an alternate strategy for this one.
Yeah, well...
Alternatively, I can keep trying. Eventually, I might get through.
I lean into Crow.
What if we tried the candle test?
I prefer the sword, but I'm willing to give the candle a go.
The candle takes like 5 hours.
The sword is quicker, and it ends a bit more violently. but it's good to watch.
Let's have him try one more time, and if that doesn't work, I guess we should see that as a sign.
The trial by sword, for a bit of cannon fluff, is to hold it by the blade with your hands clasped above your head while you have your sins read to you, or in an imperial text. And if it slips through your hands at any point and severs, like slices through you, you're dead, but you're also a heretic. So
that's amazing.
Highly accurate.
Who would like to roll? And I assume you want them to do it well?
I'll do a roll this time.
Let's all fail together.
Hey!
Oh, yeah, nice roll.
I'm Captain. I'm into their conscious mind. It's everything seems as you would expect. I would need to dive further in to really be able to confirm this, however.
Sure.
Someone roll a D100?
I guess that's Bobby.
I'm not feeling so lucky right now. That's okay. Oh, you just rolled that 38 just then, right?
Yep.
And no, Captain, there is resistance. I might need to try a little bit harder. It's going into someone's subconscious is more difficult.
What if we were to do the candle test while you're doing the mind probe?
Then you would maybe burn him, and at the same time, I would get his conscious thoughts about being burned.
This is true. Disregard that suggestion.
Is there anything he can do to make the thoughts more accessible to you?
I will give you a dirty success. I'll allow you to succeed, but that 55 will cause a psychic phenomenon.
I'll take it.
Phenomena or...
Phenomena that may roll into a perils.
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Tycho,
yeah,
roll
why
me a
not?
D100 for the phenomena.
I hate you. Is this part of the...
99.
Oh, very average.
Smack in the middle.
Right up there.
There you go.
The ground shakes and everyone within 5d10 meters must make a routine agility test or be knocked down. A number of you are knocked over and get back to your feet. It's not combat. It doesn't matter.
Are we being fired upon?
No, it's simply the sensations of the Immaterium coming through. I have read his mind. He is pure of heart, or at least as close as you can be.
Well,
Certainly more pure than anyone else in this room.
I think that solves that then.
To war.
In that case, what's the best way for us to make sure that everyone's in the Capitol building that needs to be in the Capitol building?
I will tell them that you're coming down to speak to them, and then we will take you into orbit to drop off a shuttle, and then you simply fire upon the Capitol building.
Fair enough.
Is there a way to arrange for a planet-wide Vox communication? I feel exterminatus without a speech is barely an exterminatus at all.
I will manage the communications.
Wait, we're doing an exterminatus?
Well, no, only a building, but
Okay.
exterminatus, I don't know the term.
Not exactly.
Bit different.
I mean, as long as you let me see the broadcast before it happens, I'm sure that'll be fine.
Very well. In which case, shall I go back to my ship and we will fly in system?
Yes.
Perfect. I will be talking to you all en route over the communications.
Of course.
It has been a very fortuitous meeting. I'm glad to meet you, Captain Bohr.
Just as a side note, we our scanners on the ship will try and scan the system a bit more to get more information for the Imperium. Just
Very well.
so
Try not to do any tight beam scans until we are in control, at which point we can discuss more in-depth survey.
Okay.
Very well.
Perfect. Okay. It has been lovely meeting you all. May the Emperor protect.
Goodbye. I make the Aquila back at him. Do these guys do the Aquila properly?
Yeah.
Good.
He leaves with his squad of stormtroopers.
Well, that was exciting.
Archaeotech Center.
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course they'll have archaeotech. They haven't done anything for 2,000 years.
Yes, it's all archaeotech.
Yes.
Well, perfectly fine, I suppose, with blowing this up then.
Why wouldn't I be?
Well, just wanted to raise the issue.
Of...
That's it, Captain.
They're not loyal. Their life is forfeit, therefore. I feel a little bit of a cheat saying so, but...
As you should, but that's fine.
Though I would point out it was not my actions that led to this. I was loyal throughout, and perhaps we will talk on this again soon. I feel there Would anyone like to ask any questions?
Yes. Would you consider it your actions when you put the vest on, or no?
I was given it by the captain. I simply received the gift graciously and put it to use.
Okay.
One thing I would say is my aversion to your examinations were for your safety as much as my own. The creature within that armament wished you harm, and I did my best to shield you from it.
Forgive us, there were moments that was...
Next time, just restrain me and do what you need to. Your suspicions were right, Corbulo. Follow your instincts.
It's good to hear that finally.
If you do need to scan the bloody thing one more time, then under supervision, perhaps.
The change in your demeanor was enough to know that it's no longer an issue. Bro. Captain, do you mind if I go and begin the basic scans of the system?
Go ahead.
Perfect.
Yeah, I excuse myself and start walking.
Okay.
I mean, we just as a side note, we're able to blow up this this building, right, with our weapons.
There'll be a negative to hit a planetary target because you have to go through atmosphere, but you can just keep firing until you hit.
Yeah. So we're gonna ruin some shit around it.
Oh yeah.
Just as Alex and I go to leave, I just want to try and grab his attention for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, about... I want you to know that my desire was to keep you safe. And The state of the two individuals in that room were... You did well.
No, I did what I had to do.
Yes, but... Nevertheless, you proved me wrong, and perhaps I underestimated you. But
That would be, I'd suggest you don't.
well, yes, I won't. But I just wish you to know that my desire was to keep you safe above all else.
Sure, I appreciate that. Because nothing makes me feel more safe than being locked in a room with two brutes that I have to kill.
Yeah, believe me, it was safer than elsewhere. But also I believed. Anyway, perhaps we will do that book thing sometime.
Perhaps we will.
Very well. I awkwardly move away.
Okay.
I annoyingly stomp away. Actually, no, I go to the bridge because I want to see what these scans tell us.
Okay. Corbulo, make your scans. You get your plus bonus from the ship.
Okay, it's an 18, correct?
I believe so.
2 points.
Okay, this system has a lot of stuff going on. So it has asteroid clusters in the very inner system, along with a load of solar flares and radiation bursts, which make the inner system really hard to scan. However, there is a world there that has some people on it. Can't tell you much more than that because of all the stuff going on, though. There's also another planet there, which has a lot of people on it and a lot of colonization going on around it, a couple of things in orbit, which is where you've been indicated to head to from the communications you've received. It seems to have a lot of life, including a lot of native species. There's also a moon, which is inhabited. Then, in the normally what you would assume to be the primary biosphere, is another planet. This one is even more crazy in terms of how diverse it is. Very heavily inhabited by people. A lot of different, apparently, animals and like flora and fauna on it. It's also got a moon. That moon is inhabited by people. That moon also has an installation orbiting it. It looks vaguely military and has a lot of ship stock there. In the outer reaches where you are, there's a dust cloud. Makes it a bit hard to scan, but you are closer. So you would know that there is a very large planet. It is vast, with high gravity, very thin atmosphere, which is tainted by a lot of pollution. A bit cold. It's inhospitable. It's got no contents or anything. It's just one huge ball of land. It's got a lot of interesting minerals and materials on it, and it also has some interesting power sources that you might assume would be advanced technology of some kind. There's also, as you might expect, a few bases on it. And then specifically, it's got a moon, which has people on it, and an asteroid in orbit, which is really boring.
Ugh.
Also, I believe the planet in the middle of the system has some interesting organic compounds that you can tell from your scans, and also has some interesting technology as well.
Good.
To say the least, Zinter, this system is packed.
Yes. So,
Some very interesting energy signatures as well on a few of these planets. I'd like to investigate those after we're finished.
yeah, I feel like there's lots of things to discover here. But I guess we gotta blow some shit up first.
Yes, I'll forward these scans to the captain.
Yeah, I do so. I send them off to his data slate. And then I hit my Vox.
Yes, Captain Bohr, I've recently sent a full scan of the system to your data slate for your perusal.
Thank you.
Of course.
Turn off my Vox.
I'll be in the piloting chair, ready to just do whatever's needed of me.
I'm going to get... Oh, wait, Alex. Alex, did you come to the bridge?
Yes.
Then I won't call him. Alex.
Yes, Captain.
So, I missed a bit of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I assume I was off hunting people on the ship, as I sometimes do.
Yes.
What is the situation with this? The people we met and then the people we're killing?
So the situation is that the people we met is essentially... My understanding is that they're essentially the Navy.
Okay.
As in that Tyrell is the High Commander of the Navy, thus controlling most of those ships. And he seems very devoted to the Emperor. This whole sector has been gone from the Emperor's light for 2,000 years. We still don't necessarily know why. But apparently, they seem to have prospered regardless by just looking at the scans of the systems. So during our, introduction talk, we talked a bit about how it would look for someone to come back into the Imperium of Man after having been gone for 2,000 years. It looks a bit odd. And it's essentially at that point that Tyrell proposed this plan based on the fact that a lot of the leaders on these colonies are not necessarily as devoted to the Emperor as he is. And he seems to be very, very, very devoted to the Emperor.
Right.
From my perspective, I think it's a case of we need someone that we can trade with that sees our value, and that seems like it's probably the easiest to deal with Tyrell. The question you have to ask yourself from a legal perspective is, my understanding is that this is essentially a lost colony. And then the question becomes, can we take over this lost colony in the same way that we would be able to take over Tycho Station? Now, there's probably a lot more red tape and stuff in the way here, especially considering they actually have a navy. And we don't necessarily know what their armaments are like, since we haven't scanned them properly yet. But under the assumption that they do have weapons and they have fought off Eldar before, I assume their ships can pack a punch, so it would be hard to take over the whole system. So it might be better to position ourselves as an invaluable trading partner.
Okay. Well, my question is, just because this head of the Navy, is he Admiral?
Hi, Commodore.
Hi, Commodore, right. Just because he is just because he does worship the Emperor properly and he is devout, doesn't mean this isn't a play for power.
No, I mean, it's literally a power play since we're blowing up a bunch of people.
By assuming that Crow's not in on this.
You can, this is kind of...
I'll be eavesdropping then. Crackle, crackle.
Wait, is Crow crackling or am I...
You are.
I think it was, yeah.
I will just chime in that he'd mentioned the 100 or so individuals that are to be slain were individuals reluctant to give up their power.
making them or making him make this choice on their behalf, but it seems like he would be the more obvious choice to trade with, as he is seeking to return to the Imperium. His beliefs were that these 100 heretics were less keen on returning or departing with any of their earned power.
Well, my only thought here is that we kind of turn ourselves into mercenaries or assassins for no particular gain.
We gain to trade. Well, we gain the opportunity to trade with someone of our choice rather than someone potentially not willing to trade with us at all.
Potentially.
As Alexander is over to you.
As far as I know, we haven't even spoken to the rest of the leaders of this.
True.
Well, Captain, I guess it's a question of if we just want to essentially roll with the punches and assist Tyrell in his military coup, and then be in a good position to trade, or we don't necessarily need to do that. We could try and introduce ourselves to the planetary government, go down and talk to them. However, with that said, since we haven't scanned Tyrell's ships, he might position himself in as calling us out as heretics since the, Emperor's light is gone, and try to shoot us out of the sky before we can do anything. Like I said, we haven't scanned their ships, so I don't actually know how much firepower they have. But based on the amount of ships, I think it's fair to say that they have a decent amount. Like, we don't necessarily want to get into a fight.
Yeah, there
right?
are dozens of ships in the system.
So, here's my question. Why are we doing it? If they have so many ships and their own firepower, why can't they do the same thing that they've asked us to do, except for they do it?
Because up until the point where we showed up, they have no proof that the Imperium of Man still exists.
And now they do.
Now they do. Before this, Tyrell was essentially, I don't know how pronounced he was or how much he talked about his belief, but imagine being stuck in a system for 2,000 years and everyone else around you, or most people around you, believe that this thing has stopped existing, and you're the only one who's still going around like, no, this is still happening.
I believe his choice of words were also having phrased the same question to him, that the optics would look less favorable should he enact this himself. It would perhaps look like an act of self-interest. However, he requested that we enact this as a glorious reclamation of this sector to the Imperium, purging it of any impurities and winning favor as such with the powers that currently occupy this area. At least a compelling story.
And based on what we know, I think that part checks out. It is a much more compelling story to oust the current leadership as rotten when you have some proof that the Imperium of Man actually still exists. Because they do have interstellar travel, but my understanding is that they've only met Eldar previously.
Well,
Yes.
The only thing is, my thoughts on this is it would be incredibly convenient for him to have an outside power destroy the command structure of this.
No, I agree, and
then he can say foul heretics.
This was the purpose of the psychic interrogation, however, to establish his motives, and he did seem to come up clean.
from everything we put him through, he seems. I am I will fully admit that he might be playing us, but based on the checks we've done, and I don't think we can do any more, that does not seem to be the case.
All right.
I think it was very clear to me and Crow that when we were talking to him earlier, that he was very devoted to the Emperor. And the mind probes seem to correlate that.
Okay. Well, if you both feel that he is being honest, then
I believe that to be the case, and as an added bonus, we will be doing the Emperor's work today. If there are those down there that are corrupt with power and do not wish to relinquish it to the Imperium, then they need to be dealt with, and having the opportunity to do so may, at least, but bring me a degree of peace after the recent few days.
Well, also, since we will hail the planetary government once we get closer and say, hey, let's talk, let's trade, we do have an opportunity to see how they react to that.
Mm.
We might get more information based on how they perceive us.
Sounds good.
And potentially, I will just put this as an idea, but as they are devoutly anti-Zeno, which obviously one would approve of, but seeing as the Eldar...
That's correct.
Thank you. Good. I'm learning this lore. Position themselves between us and Tycho Station, perhaps there would be future opportunity for them to assist us in reclaiming that moon with the weapon they decided to hide away from the Imperium. Perhaps.
Well, I think to begin with, we should carry out the plan as if we intend to execute it. And if anything changes, we can always adjust.
Yes.
Would you like me aboard their ship in the meantime as a insurance? I am willing to risk myself.
Have they requested?
They have not.
No. It's simply to monitor them and to see if there is anything untoward.
I doubt they'll show you anything.
No, but I may, if it gives you any peace, I may follow the High Commodore and report anything unusual. It is up to you, simply an idea.
No.
Very well.
I think you should stay here and keep an eye on the men.
Very well. I would not be of much use in a fight. I hold up my heart in a briefcase.
You should be careful with that, Crow.
Yeah, I'm like sitting like across the bridge working on at my station. I just look over and see him holding it up.
Yes,
I noticed
yes.
you were a little carefree with it earlier, slamming it on the table. I highly recommend you don't do that again for your own safety.
Yes, well, I'd rather not have to carry around my viscera for the remainder, but I will treat it with more respect, Corbula.
Yes, it's for your own safety, of course.
And I get back to work.
I go back to my piloting chair.
Okay. You go in system with them?
Yes. I think so.
Yep.
You are hailed, which means you're instantly hailed by the ship escorting you, which is far larger than you, where High Commodore Tyrell is. He just quickly pops up as you're saying, I believe the planetary government are hailing you. The best bet is to probably announce your intentions as we discussed, that you intend to go down and speak to their Capitol building.
That's we can do that.
Excellent.
I'll answer the hail.
Hello, this is the High Chancellor of the Imperial Remnant. We have been informed that you are in our system from outside. Who do you serve?
Yes. This is the Trifort Cleft, captained by Tycho Bohr. We are a rogue trader ship exploring this section of space, and we explore for the Imperium of Man. Please, we are, as always, looking to trade. But I've not heard of this remnant before. Can you please explain what you mean?
Many thousands of years ago, the Imperium was lost and the light of the Emperor extinguished. We are all that remains. A few systems that are clinging together by unity, and unity through faith, on the fringe of the galaxy, holding the remains of the Imperium together through devotion and belief. We are a tightly knit group of humanity. I assume you yourself are human.
In that case, yes. And in that case, I am very happy to announce that you have been misinformed. The Imperium of Man is still strong. Its light was not distinguished 2,000 years ago, and as proof, there is us and many more that we can put you back into contact with.
No, that's impossible. The Imperium was destroyed.
That is not the case. At this point, do I have like an information packet of what happened 2,000 years ago for them to be like, here you go?
Sure. Okay, you sent it over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fabrication and lies.
I can see why this might be difficult to understand if you've been away from the Emperor's Light for over 2,000 years, but I can assure you that this is not the case. The Imperium of Man is still strong. If anything, we are proof of such.
And you are scouting from this Imperium, you claim?
Well, we are a rogue trading ship, so we are. Yes, so we are trading and exploring the sector. Once again, finding lost colonies and things that have.
Of course, and it is your ship that has discovered us. That makes complete sense. I guess all the rewards of excellent trade deals and so forth will go to the ship that discovered us, and that would be you and you alone, which would make you quite profitable.
Are you saying that you have no other contact with? Do you not have any trade deals with other entities in the section of the Imperium?
Of course not. No, that would be quite against.
Well, in that case, we should definitely discuss some trade deals.
And there are no other rogue traders in this area that we would have to split these trade deals with. It is just you.
Well, I mean, I can only speak for my captain, and his house. But I know of no other rogue traders that are currently in this area.
Oh, well, in which case that makes you a very, very lucky rogue trader. Tell your captain that he's welcome to park in orbit. You send some coordinates along, and well, we can arrange a meeting in which we can discuss your future involvement with the Imperial Remnant.
Sure. Yes, that sounds excellent. If you don't mind, we'd love to come down to the surface. I assume you have some type of building where you normally do, well, the larger trade deals.
The Capitol building.
That sounds excellent. Yes, let's do that.
Make a barter check.
Sure.
Very well. Please park yourself over there. Do not make any hostile moves. Don't attempt to scan anything nearby, and make sure to not power up any of your weapons or activate your shields. That will be acceptable, and then we will make sure that we have everyone assembled to meet you.
Under the assumption that the ships that I see that you have around here do the same, I see no reason to power up weapons nor shields.
Our ships will not do so. Do not worry.
Then we will probably turn on our shields just the same. It's normal protocol. I'm sure you understand.
Yes. That is acceptable to us. I'm glad to hear that we can finally make contact with the Imperium again and make some very lucrative trade deals with you and you alone.
Oh, he knows just what to say, doesn't he? Yes. Thank you. I end the transmission.
Okay.
I don't like him.
I don't like him either, which is surprising coming from me. I felt like he was way too much into, there's only you. Under the assumption that they've not done any trade, and you haven't met another human for 2,000 years, would you go straight into, yes, only you get to trade with us?
Alexander, did you get anything malicious from him? That sounds more like a threat than...
Well...
That's it's not quite a crit.
No.
Close, though.
I rolled a 6 on my scrutiny.
I rolled a 94. Okay,
These guys
Alexander.
are garbage.
Yeah, no, he was like, no, you don't exist. I can't admit you exist, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he knows the Imperium exists? You can't confirm that, but it might be possible. And then he was very much like, only you know about us, right? You're alone. Only you know. Excellent. Please park yourself in orbit over the Capitol building and make sure you turn off all your defenses.
Right, so they're trying to shoot us down, probably.
And because you did so well, he said that all the ships are powered down. Normally, capital planets also have ground-based defenses.
Yeah. This is probably something we want to tell Tyrell.
Yeah.
So I send a quick message to him with essentially that they seem very keen to shoot us out of the sky. And I expect that to happen pretty darn quickly.
He just opens a comlink back. Yes, well, I'm glad you agree that they are lost in the Emperor's light.
So, what ground-based defenses do they have?
Ground to surface, missile-based defenses, and lances. I can give you the coordinates for the ground-based defenses if you wish.
Yes, please.
Send
And
it
their
across.
specifications of range.
They'll
Assuming
reach
I'm-
into high orbit and maybe a little bit beyond. Not much beyond that.
Okay.
They're specifically designed to keep people away from bombarding the planet
Yeah,
or
so we've
landing
got-
troops.
We've got long range stuff, though, haven't we, by comparison?
What's your range?
It's like 9, wasn't it, for one of them?
They can probably reach 9 with theirs, but they'll have a bit of a shorter range, so they might start incurring minuses before you do. That said, if you want to hit something on the planet, you normally need any bonus you can get. So,
Yeah, we probably want to be closer for that.
if it comes down to it, my ship will maneuver itself to be able to take fire from the ground batteries while you pummel the Capitol building. I won't be able to defend you against every single one, though. They will fire from
No.
multiple angles.
We should probably bring up the fact that will most likely cause heavy losses. Just, we don't have high precision weapons. I assume we're just going to
Really?
flatten them.
Well, I mean, we'll hit our target. We're just going to hit a bunch of things around it. The question, or not the question, but what I just realized is that if they're trying to shoot us out of the sky, if they start shooting first,
I wasn't going to
The sto-
suggest it, but if you do happen to get shot at first, that would make it a lot easier for us to sell our
that's a
version.
much better story.
How
So
many ships do you have nearby? Are there others?
If you go through this, I'll make sure that your ship is fully repaired. Do not worry. If you do sustain any losses, I will make sure that that is accounted for.
Am I expecting from a planetary defense, would it be able to take out our ship?
In one volley, unlikely. Would it be able to take out your ship? Yes, because it has to be capable of defending the planet, and you're
For
just
sure.
a frigate.
So it's a threat still.
It's a threat. It's a capital world. It's a threat, don't worry. It's not going to be easy. The consequences are potentially very lucrative, though.
Especially now.
Hmm.
Because we somehow seem to be on the right side for once.
We're doing the Emperor's work today.
Did you allow Tyrell to talk to your navigator at any point? You mentioned it, but we never...
No, I don't think we did.
Okay.
Unless...
It could have happened off screen, because you mentioned it, but we never got RP'd, so...
Yeah, so we did bring the navigator down. It might very well be that they talked during lunch when we were discussing in the ready room.
In which case, you did discover that it's possible that the planetary, the High Chancellor may have known that the Imperium was still around or something. Did you communicate that fact to him? Because you said you told him everything.
Yes, I think I did.
I will level with you. We do not have navigators like you do. Our navigators are human with 2 eyes and not a third one. We do have legends about navigators who were so skilled they had a third eye and could sense the flow of the Immaterium, but unfortunately they died off during a coup over 1,000 years earlier. It is possible that our government had manipulated this to prevent us from contacting outside.
That would make a lot of sense, in the sense that, yeah, if you've had navigators and interstellar travel, because my assumption when we started talking the first time around was that you'd lost interstellar travel too. But that makes a lot more sense. And
we have a small number of systems, but pretty tightly packed. We have to make jumps based on not much information.
But that also means that there might be information in some type of archives, what actually happened. Like
Possible, those archives are based under the Capitol building, however.
Well, I mean, if they survive, great. I think we still have a good story if they don't.
Quite, I'm sure something can be resurrected from the archives, and I'll make sure that my tech restart working on it.
Meta knowledge for a second for Crow. When you sort of do a lock on as such, as something like an action, is there any way their ship could lock on to provide us assistance in firing at the Capitol? Is there anything?
I was actually going to suggest that in a moment, but yeah, he can totally provide you targeting data and effectively forgo any shooting actions on his turn to provide you a small bonus. Because his ship is far larger. His ship is a battle cruiser, so it's far larger and has a lot better sensors and optics.
Yeah. And if he's willing to position himself between us and the gun batteries to a point,
now,
then...
like, the way the Capitol building is, it's vaguely in the equator, and gun batteries are spread around it. So if he maneuvers in place for some of them and you can still shoot, the other half are going to be able to shoot you. Yeah. So you will get fire from some of them.
Okay, now the question is, will they start... Because we agreed to essentially send down a shuttle to the Capitol building once we're properly in orbit. The question is, can we get them to shoot us before the shuttle lands? Because we don't want to go down there.
We could initiate a scan, perhaps.
Why not begin sending a shuttle down that is empty?
I mean, that's my current plan. And then just hope that they shoot it.
Oh, question. Why don't we just shoot them?
Because if we can get them to shoot us first, then they've kind of shown their hand as not being, for the Emperor or for the Emperor man. They've shown their hand as power-hungry heretics. Whereas if we start shooting them straight away, there might be some doubt amongst some of the populace, even if, based on everything we know, it's pretty clear that they're power-hungry heretics.
So our shields are down currently. If they open fire, it may...
I mean,
damage immediately.
I told them that we'd power on our shields.
I would not have given the order to put our shields down.
No.
They requested it, though,
just so
didn't they?
you know, standard Imperial Navy doctrine is to drop shields to half power whenever you're in orbit, but never drop your shields fully. Nearly everyone, and that includes most of the Imperial Navy, drop your shields because it causes overtaxing on the generators. It's quite normal to drop your shields when you're in orbit or somewhere. Whether you drop your shields when you're in an area you don't really know about, totally debatable, but it's totally normal for normal people to drop shields.
Also, to be fair, in the conversation, they mentioned that their ships would not power down.
You said if you would do likewise, and they said, sure, okay, we can do that. So all of your ships would, in the area, have powered down shields. But they didn't mention the ground batteries, which you wouldn't know about.
And they also said we weren't allowed to scan at all, which means that we won't know if they've powered down or not. So,
Tycho, perhaps we can bait them by lowering the shields for a few seconds, enough to entice them to fire and quickly raise them up again.
I mean, if we want to be dishonest about all this, we can just ask Tyrell to shoot us once, and then we have a reason to kill them.
Are you there still? Sorry.
Yes.
If you wish, I can relay my targeting and sensor data to you.
Yes, that would be lovely. We're talking about the most efficient way to get them to shoot at us without doing too much damage to us.
Do everything they say, drop your shields, and I can provide you with targeting data, and I might even be able to give you data in time that you can raise your shields to intercept any fire from the surface, if we're lucky enough.
Okay, if that's a decision for the captain to make.
Corbulo, can you prepare to, as quickly as possible, raise shields and get everything?
Absolutely, Captain. I can even divert some power to them to get them up quicker if need be.
It would be an agility tech use check to get them up quick enough. Or possibly I would allow tech use at like a -20.
Can I help with that? Or is it one person?
You can do the charm test to give it a
only
+5.
Corbulo, really.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the -20.
Okay, don't roll for it yet. We'll roll for it when it comes.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Very well. I can always engage with evasive action when I open fire as well. Perhaps that would be an opportunity while our shields raise.
That would also make it harder for us to hit our target.
Yes, true.
But that's not necessarily a worry for the first ever salvo. We just need to survive that. Then we can get our shields up.
I can also launch fighters and so forth to put a defensive screen up to intercept any missiles that are fired at you.
Good.
I think we should, if we are going to go this route and take them out, which I am in favor of at this point, I think we should just take the hits.
Very well.
And hit the target.
Hopefully their aim is not too sharp.
Okay. Well, in that case, my suggestion is that once we get into orbit, we'll just send a message to them saying that our captain has agreed to their demands, and as a show of good faith, we have dropped our shields as well and sent a shuttle to the surface to discuss possible trade deals. And then once that's been sent, we can kind of see what happens.
I will be at the wheel and ready.
So I will prepare the shields.
And also, we can send down our shuttles have enough of an autopilot to be sent down without anyone in them, right?
Send down a manual, just
yeah. In that case,
rating.
In that case, I'll just find someone, a pilot that can pilot the ship for us.
Yeah. Honestly, I could be like, make a deceive roll, but you can go through all the pilots on your ship and you'll eventually pass, so it doesn't even matter. So you find someone and you're like, yeah, totally, you just got to pilot the shuttle down empty, and they're like, cool, I get to be important.
Well, I mean, I can put some boxes in it. So be like, you get to pilot down the welcome gift.
Put fish in it.
Question. Seeing as this is possibly something that should be discussed, is there a benefit to packing the shuttle with explosives and just getting someone to drive into the building?
It's going to be so much harder to get someone to do that.
I think we killed all the cultists last episode.
Do it well, Alex.
Also, when they scan the shuttle, they can always be like, hey, they were sending down a bomb.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
True. The Emperor's just told me that they might suspect sending explosives as being hostile.
Yes, a simple scan would reveal them.
Crow, I'd be skeptical of any voices in your head at this point, I'd say.
No, I'm skeptical of everything right now.
Good.
Oh, that's actually how good are like surface or ground to if they scan our shuttle, will they notice that there's only one human in it?
Depends on the quality of their sensors.
And how they roll, probably.
I'll find 5 other ratings to go with.
Oh, we can do something important. Yay! You do.
There we go. Problem solved.
We will meet you down there shortly.
I can't wait.
Should anything go wrong, just turn around and come back.
But nothing's going to go wrong. It's all going to go according to plan.
I mean, that actually sounds like a deceive roll, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you fail, you just find another person and you repeat it.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Oh.
We find some other people.
Wait. You need to see if they fail their
There you go.
scrutiny.
I rolled a 6 on
No,
my
they passed the
deceive.
screen like, no, that sounds like a terrible idea. No. You find another group. And this time
I got a
Meredith tries to deceive.
4.5.
Oh, this sounds like a great idea. I can't wait.
See, it's because I have a heart, so it's a lot harder for me to deceive properly. Whereas Crow, admittedly, has got a briefcase.
How could you be so heartless, Alex?
Oh dear.
Oh,
Guys, stop talking to the crew, please.
I see what you did there. Don't worry, Tycho, I found some idiots.
So, is there
can't
anything
be
else you
going
want to do? Anything you want to prep before you get in orbit?
Is there any checks I need to do to get the shields ready? I mean, I would assume it's probably routine to route extra power and then just flip
Yeah,
the
you
switch.
can effectively you're cycling enough power to keep them warm so they'll turn on, like they're on standby. And that's fine. That's totally something you can do and doesn't even require a roll. It just means that this is possible.
Okay. Is that something that would be suspicious if we were scanned directly, or would that be potentially taken as just routine maintenance?
They could be like, that's a bit suspicious, but if you didn't know the location of the launch complexes, they would be able to fire and you wouldn't be able to react in time. Because you know the location and because you've got targeting data sent to you, you can probably get warned just before they fire, which means you can start doing the cycling, which means that your shields might get online in time. It'll be tight.
All right, sounds good. Perfect.
I think that I should be the one to guide the shots.
It is your discretion, Captain.
Well, Corbulo, I know you have a problem with killing people.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, Captain.
Really? You've
Yes, Captain.
You've objected multiple times, though, to me killing people.
Situational, Captain. But I assure you, Captain, I have no issues with death or with murder when it's necessary.
I wouldn't really classify it as murder. Okay. And you will also be doing the shields, correct?
I am. It would be best if I were left on shield specifically.
Yes. Alex, Crow, I don't believe you have any particular special.
I may be able to aid the gun batteries in some respects, but I will not be able to pilot at the same time.
I might be able to aid the gun batteries, actually.
See if you can sweet talk them a little bit, Alex. I'll get ready for evasive action if we need.
Then I'll get on the guns. Okay. I think we're good.
Okay. In which case,
Corbulo, do it well.
As you slip
Yes,
into
Captain.
low orbit, do you want to be in low orbit for the plus to hit?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. That's going to put you in danger, but it's going to make it much easier for you to hit. We're going to go to a quick break. Enjoy a quick break, and we'll find out whether they can survive, because this is going to be quite dangerous for the entire ship. Potentially very lucrative. We'll be back shortly. If my mouse will work. Come on, mouse. Seriously? Here we go. Hello and welcome back to Road Trader Frontier, where I believe you're planning to go get shot at.
Yes.
Yes.
Bring it on.
And shoot.
Perfect. Okay. So, you slide into orbit, very low over the planet.
I send my prepared message, and then I guess we send out a ship or a recon. No, a shuttle is the word I'm looking for.
Okay. The shuttle leaves your hangar bay and begins flying down to the planet. You get a ping saying the ground batteries has just started warming up. They're about to fire.
Go below.
Below.
The second that happens, shields are coming up right away.
Okay, make the roll. Tech use -20.
Okay, tech use -20.
And do it well, so it's -10.
-10. There it is.
I did say to do it well before.
That's a
What
99.
the?
That's a 99.
Oh,
Guys, I'm gonna re-roll that, okay? Now I'm gonna be honest. Just a little out of game, really quick. Anytime I've rolled like a 90 something and re-rolled, it's been a 90 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that I think everyone but Tycho is down a fate point because he used the VATS last session, right?
I used them as well, so I only have one left. Well, two, I guess I'm down to 2. Yeah, I'm gonna use one and re-roll.
Okay.
-10.
I had surgery.
No, you're good.
If you had crit failed that, your shields would never be coming up without fixing them.
Oh my God! Thank the Lord. Thank
Okay.
the Messiah.
Well done, Bobby.
Shields are up, Captain.
I'm gonna roll to hit you. Miss. 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 Critical fail.
Planet explodes.
Hit. Miss.
Dang.
One lance hits your void shield, which collapses. And then re-energizes.
I would have liked to have had Alex just broadcast a generic message of, "Oh, so you want to play it like that then? All right, bitch." As we fire back.
I'm at the piloting chair, so if you need me to do anything from a piloting,
I mean, if you want me to broadcast shit, I can broadcast shit.
Yes. I would like that.
Okay, Alexander, what do you broadcast?
Hostile activity has been detected. Honestly, this is what we expect from heretic scum. Prepare to be enlightened by the Emperor's light.
Okay. Make a charm roll. Or deceive, up to you. Because this is the way you're manipulating events here.
I'd say, given everything we're doing, charm almost makes more
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, I rolled for the same, so it's, charm. We're nice people.
Okay.
Now die.
I was gonna add be purged, but felt like it was too much.
Yep, you also detect missile launches from the planet as well, but those won't hit you till next turn.
I fire.
Do you want other people to do extended actions on their turn to be able to support your fire, or just want to fire?
Yeah. Yeah.
got a charm test from Alex, and
Yeah.
can both of us do the same action?
No, only one
Like,
of the actions can be used,
that-
but you can
that
stack two
makes
different
sense.
actions.
Yeah.
Crow, how's your shooting?
Nick so good. Like
Mm.
30 something.
Is it over 30?
31.
Let's have you on the other guns then.
Wait. I'm at 32.
Oh!
Oh.
You're doing the extended action though.
You can do an
Yeah.
extended action and a main action on your turn.
Oh, okay.
And I
Um,
guess I'm probably needed still at the shield, so I'll just be there. mounted.
Maybe if I do the put you back into it and Alexander does a lock on, which is the scrutiny. I don't know, is Alexander's scrutiny any good?
I'm at 45.
That's another option. Or you can just do your charm test to give both of us a +5.
Yeah, let's
my intimidate's not as good as it used to be.
I can charm some people.
Hell yeah.
It's time. It's
Hi
time
there,
to.
hi there, Gundex. You doing okay? Like you. We should talk more.
It's time to show what you're made of, and I know what you're made of, and it's pure awesomeness. Thank you. Bye. Oh, they didn't like it.
No, they didn't like it. It's terrible. Oh, God.
Damn it.
Right.
I will take the plasmas, I think. Okay, here's a question, guys. Do we want one shot to be really, really likely to hit, or do we want both shots to be reasonably likely to hit?
I mean, we know they shot us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Yeah.
I like 2 shots, kind of
Yeah.
likely.
I'm more
Because, I
Daka.
mean, realistically, we're going to fail the first roll anyways, so I'd rather have 2.
Right.
And the other ship at this point was going to do something to help us hit.
I think they are
It's
giving
sent over.
us some, yeah, and also they're intercepting the missiles with ships.
Fair enough.
Fighters, hopefully. What I'm saying is we got 2 ranges. We got a 9 range and a 5 range. I'm assuming the 9 will have a bonus to hit.
9 would have a bonus of 10. The 5 would have a bonus of 10 as well. You're both in low orbit. Unless you
Yeah,
go into the atmosphere, it won't be point blank. There is also negative to shooting through atmosphere, though.
Yeah. Well, then it doesn't matter which we fire, but I like the plasma batteries.
After you.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a minus 30 for shooting through an atmosphere, plus 10 for your range. So, minus 20 overall.
Oh, my word.
This is going to take some time.
Yeah.
Oh, or not.
That would be weapon skill, sadly.
Oh, tits!
Oh,
Oh,
Can I
that was
take
crit
that?
too.
Can I take that roll anyway?
Sorry, you rolled the wrong one.
But it's a fucking crit.
Uh,
come on, Tycho. I believe in you. Do it well.
uh,
If only he did it well.
Which one are you firing?
The plasmas.
Yeah, so your plasma fire lances down at the planet, smashing down near the target. Unfortunately, not quite hitting it.
That's pretty good for a crow roll. I presume that was with the minus 30 and a plus 10.
Didn't the Commodore give us plus for?
The Commodore give you a plus 10.
Yeah, I didn't include that either.
So
So
both
that's
of you actually
both
hit.
Both
Holy shit.
Okay, both of you roll damage.
amazing.
Okay.
Do I just roll a d10?
Oh, Caldy, thank you for all the gift subs. Damn, you're all on the ship.
Oh.
Get on the ship. We need more people. We're really low on people.
I don't actually know the damage.
If you look at the sheet for the ship, it has the damage listed on the weapons.
Welcome to the
1d10
Empire.
plus 3 for you.
Stay shiny.
September's in full effect.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.
Okay.
Oh,
Crow,
what-
roll me a
what
1d5.
Oh,
Okay.
still.
Wait, what
me-
just happened here? Both of you succeeded in your rolls, and then you rolled
I'm-
really high on
I'm
damage.
really tempted to
Welcome to the
re-roll that
Empire.
crit, but
Stay
I don't know how.
shiny.
Would we destroy it in one volley? Would Crow expect that?
Probably. It's
Yeah,
a building. It's
yeah,
one
I'm not
building and
gonna
targeting.
re-roll.
It's not a starship.
Yeah, I'm not re-rolling.
Yep. I'm trying to find the crit table right now. I can't remember where I put it. I don't think I tagged it. I really should have.
Welcome to the Empire.
Come on, load. There we go.
Stay
Okay.
shiny.
Hold. One component. Okay. The first shot from Tycho smashes down and plays off a very light void shield before doing damage to the surrounding and to the building itself. The second shot from Crow, you're firing the laser battery, right?
Pew 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 pew.
The entire building just detonates. The air out in a shockwave as the laser goes through and superheats it. You do destroy a chunk of the surrounding terrain and city, but not much. And the entire building is completely leveled.
Good shooting, Tycho.
Alex, demand their surrender.
I get on the comms.
can tell that High Commodore Terrell has already started a broadcast.
Okay, then I listen in.
Yep. It's
Alex,
a
listen
very
in.
long broadcast, but it consists mostly of the Imperium is back and blah blah. We've made contact and they're here to be able to bring us back into the light of the God Emperor of mankind, so forth and so on. We're going to destroy the corrupt government that has manipulated us and controlled us and kept us away from the Emperor's light for so long, and we're led back into the fold. Blah 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 blah. The military will be guiding us from this point forwards. The military is taking over in support of the God Emperor of mankind and will be liaising furthermore with the Trifork Clef in an attempt to. And it's a good long speech that probably lasts about 30 minutes, including a lot more details and a lot more personal stuff and information about the planet that you didn't necessarily know. It also has a list of the entire people who probably died and their corruption, their crimes in government.
How corrupt were they?
You can tell that most of these are suspected crimes, and a lot of them consist of dereliction of duty, subversion of the Emperor, trials of faith, blah 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 blah, that sort of stuff.
So, I mean, we could have worked with them had they not tried to shoot us first.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm glad they shot at us first.
Yeah.
Sounds like they wouldn't have passed the candle test. Wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yes.
That was going to be a really hard battle, but I guess you did that.
Welcome to the
Ah!
Stay
It was
shiny.
about time we kind of pooped on an NPC, to be fair, because some of them have been really nasty and rolling really well. So
The trick is to roll really badly for so long that the GM finally lowers the difficulty.
I didn't. They had 6 ground-based laser batteries and 2 ground-based missile batteries that were firing torpedoes, and you just killed them.
Yeah, I'm the Sai is watching over this.
oh,
ship.
we still got the torpedoes incoming.
Well, that was 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The battle cruiser just moves in front of you at this point because you don't need to fire again. So for your purposes, I mean, I'll check to see whether they managed to intercept them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they managed to intercept 1 volley. The second volley misses the battle cruiser and actually just flies off.
Glorious.
You are raised by High Commodore Tyrell.
We will answer the hail.
I believe I have a lot of sorting out to do of the planet and hunting out of some of the problem individuals who may not have been there, but that was remarkably good shooting. My commendations to your gunner officers.
Thank you. I will let Captain Tycho Bohr and Meridius Crow know.
Oh, well, hopefully good shooting.
In the meantime, while you do that, if you need any other assistance to weed out, people that are cares not for the Emperor's light, let us know. We'd be delighted to help. We also talked about possibly putting this ship somewhere where we can repair some of our damages and putting our crew on shore leave somewhere. If that could be sorted within the coming days, that would be
we can provide accommodation for you and berthing at one of our military ports and repair the ship. And after that, after you're repaired, it will probably take a little while, we can totally sort out the issue of actually having your crew have some shore leave. We'll pick one of our planets, probably a more out-of-the-way location, and get your crew groundside. We'll also make sure that your ship will be provisioned with some basic necessities, and we can also discuss some more trade deals and so forth.
excellent.
Would you like to have a time skip for a month while you get repaired and get some shore leave?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have a time skip of a month. You may also, because how awesome you are, they're not going to wait to let you have shore leave. You can totally go around the planet, provided you're not shouting out that, hey, I'm Tycho Bohr, I'm Alexander Zinter, I was in orbit and blew up your Capitol building. So you can also do some actual requisitioning if you wish. Please set your vessel health back to 100.
Yay.
Requisitioning! It's been 7 episodes!
And your morale can go back up to 100 as well.
Oh yeah.
Our morale can only be 98.
Well, 98 in that case.
It's still pretty damn good. So I'm gonna go shopping.
Yeah. I need some stuff. Well, mainly some type of beast tamer. But
So are we needing to keep it secret who we are, so we're not parading around like the saviors of this place currently?
Yeah, for the moment.
I mean, not. It
We
might also be a
probably
case of
know
no.
this way.
We've returned them to the Imperium. We're kind of a big deal.
I don't think everyone after 2,000 years not being in the Imperium is going to be like, "Yay, the Imperium!"
I'd be like, I know the Emperor, okay?
Look,
No,
look,
but
at,
You wouldn't say that.
look
No.
at it. Look at it this way: if aliens suddenly turned up at Earth and blew up like Paris, and then were like, "Hey guys, we're really cool. We came to save you." How are you going to react?
But it depends if you were told childhood stories of the alien species that was so totally awesome that you've lost contact with, that are so totally great. But point taken, Crow will try
So
and
when
keep
the
a lid on it.
Jedi return to Paris and blow it up.
I can't believe you did that anyway. Right. What would you like to requisition?
Everything.
Well, I mean, what we need a heart, don't we?
Yeah, we need some cybernetic stuff. Just in general.
Okay.
A cybernetic heart, though, for sure we need.
So I'll let you know exactly what this gives you from the planets. You cannot requisition anything based on plasma tech.
Okay, no plasma.
You cannot do anything to do with navigators. Any las weapons you get here have +1 penetration. Any bionics you try and get here have +10 to their acquisition roll. They have no juve treatments whatsoever. They have no anti-gravity whatsoever. They have no psychic or psychic-based tech whatsoever. Their warp drives are also very crude. Also, all their ships have very harsh discipline, which gives them morale modifiers. So the good things here are bionics and las weapons.
What about armor?
Standard.
Yes.
Because I'm running around with some Xeno mesh, and I've realized that that's not necessarily good enough.
They have no pluses or negatives on armor. Their armor is decent, but not decent enough to give it a bonus.
It's still armor though.
Yeah.
Like Crow ain't gonna complain if he gets an upgrade. So in terms of the requisitioning, so this is Alexander doing the requisitioning, or
So
like, do we
the
do
way
personal
it works
shopping?
is that each person can do a requisition roll for whatever you want. However,
Right.
you can get a bonus by making by making a commerce roll, and each degree of success on the commerce roll gives you, I think, a bonus equal to your profit factor bonus on the roll, or something like that. Or it's like 3 times however many degrees of success you get.
Right.
I think it's
But
just
if you
3
don't
times.
have commerce, you're kind of walking around hopelessly
Yeah,
shopping.
so just get Alexander to do the commerce roll for you if you want to get a bonus. However, degrees of failure will also take away from it. So,
Right, okay.
if you fail, you can always roll again at a negative. However, if you screw up the second roll, there are consequences to that, like you piss someone off.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay, so should I just start rolling some commerce?
What do you want to get first? Who would like to go first for their requisition?
Still deciding what I want.
I
would
suggest
say,
that you try and get a bionic heart first for Crow.
I would
'cause
like a
currently-
heart.
I would say just the nature or the notion of getting new sanctioned tech that I can get my hands on is so overwhelming that like it's the first thing I do. I'm bothering Zinter to
I mean,
try and get these things.
Zinter, can we begin getting those few things I've requested? I really need some bionics. I need to replace Crow's heart. I'm also looking for some mechadendroids too, if they have anything of that
Okay,
nature.
well, let's go look for that.
do it well with the heart.
Oh, yeah, okay. Here's for the heart then.
Okay, you get a +6 on the roll for your profit factor. So the bionic heart, I assume you're going for a standard rarity one. You're not going for like a good quality or anything.
I'd go good quality.
Okay, that will be a -10 on the roll. So it is rare. You get a -10 to rare. you get a plus 30 because you want a single object. You get a minus 10 for best quality, and you've got plus 6. So that'll give you a plus 16 on your profit factor roll. What's your profit factor?
20.
Okay, you need to roll 20. Wow. You need to roll a 36 or lower.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, people in glass houses,
We have more than 20.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Like I
22
don't.
or something, yeah.
I'm embarrassed that it's that low.
Hey, do you see our ship? It's fucking awesome. You're welcome.
Couldn't yeah.
You can re-roll with fate points because it's your personal roll.
Maybe not
Okay.
go for a extra fancy quality.
I
roll
only went
than
for a
standard.
good quality one rather than a standard.
If you go for standard, it will get your plus 10 on the roll.
But it doesn't come with like the extra talent though.
But you can
Okay.
we can always replace it later.
Yeah. You kind of don't have a heart right now, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're walking around with a briefcase.
Yeah.
How are you ever gonna do? Well, I guess.
No, if he
you
goes
are
into
essentially
combat,
doing
he has
a little
huge
bit.
negatives right now because he literally doesn't have a heart. I'm giving him the ability to temporarily have a walk-around heart.
Fine, we can go for the regular because yeah.
46.
Okay, I just want everyone watching to know that now that Crow has decided to go for the standard, he's going to roll low enough to get the
Yeah, I know.
better quality.
So do I have to roll with this one?
Yep, 46 because it's your personal requisition. That would have got you a good quality.
God damn it.
Of course.
God damn it.
So yeah, you managed to find a replacement heart. It'll need to be installed, but you have a bionic heart that you may install. Standard quality.
Yeah.
Oh, and plus 10 for anything bionic related.
No.
So I will say you can have rolled for the good quality then, because it is plus 10 to anything bionic related. And you wanted a 46 to roll, so there you go. You have yourself a good quality bionic heart.
I'm happy.
Beautiful.
I'm alive.
It needs to be installed, but you have it.
Yeah. Bye.
Either you
Okay.
can have Corbulo install it, or you can requisition medical services to install it.
I'll
for you.
requisition medical services.
Remember, you can
Yeah,
only
so
do
you
one
deal
more
with-
requisition, and if you screw it up, you piss people off.
Oh, I have to requisition the medical services.
Mhm.
Corbulo!
Yes, Master Crow. Oh, that is a wonderful heart that you found.
Yes, look at it. It was so good and
Ow.
strong.
Yes, you can put it in whenever you'd like. Whenever we get back to the vessel.
Yes, perhaps when you've got some fate points spare.
Yes, what are these fate points you speak of? But yes, I can do that as soon as possible. As soon as we get back.
Sounds
I
good.
really need to find a mechadendrite though. That would make the surgery go much smoother.
Joe, do you want to go looking for a mechadendroid?
Yes, I need a Medicaid specific one.
Okay, I'm gonna. That's a newcomer's roll, right? It's a new thing, or
You newcomers roll, yep.
yeah. Here we go.
Plus 9. You want a medical mechadendrite. What's the rarity on that?
God, I have to open it up. There. I'm just gonna search it in the PDF.
Medical mechadendrite, very rare.
Very rare.
Okay. Specific tech priest stuff, unfortunately, because they've been cut off from the tech priest for a while, doesn't apply to bionics, so they
Understandable.
won't get the plus 10. So it's very rare. So you have a plus 10, so that makes it a 30, plus the 9, so you're rolling on 39.
Okay.
You have yourself a medical mechadendrite. Well done, Corbulo. You got a roll you needed.
Finally. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Who would like to go next?
Sure, I can go next. I'm looking for a beast tamer.
Okay. What quality of beast tamer would you like? Would you want them rolling on 30s, 40s, or 50s? Or 20s if you want a really crappy one.
No. I'm gonna fail this regardless. I want an excellent one, so I'm looking for one that's 50.
You want a best quality beast tamer. Okay. So that's a minus 20 to the roll. You only want a single one, so that's plus 30. And they're not rare on this planet at all, so you're rolling on a 40.
But that's do I do commerce? I do commerce first, right?
Commerce first if you want to, yeah. Not enough degree of success to do anything, so just a 40.
Fun fact, I have wrangling. I completely forgot about that.
Too late.
Nice.
Damn it.
Do you want to reroll a fate point?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I pissed off all the beast tamers.
Well, that was rerolling a fate point. If you want, you can roll
Oh.
again for something
Yeah,
different
no.
or for the same thing, but if you do fail and there will be a negative of 10, you do piss people off.
No, that's fine. I just didn't find one.
Yeah. You didn't find a good enough quality one. You kept interviewing them
Yeah.
being like, no, my spider's
Yeah,
way
yeah.
better. What's your spider
Yeah.
called?
The spider is called Clemens.
Clemens deserves better.
Yeah.
Tycho.
I'm torn between two different things. One is just a general thing for the crew, and one is for me.
Okay, what are they?
Camellia line cloak or a Belfly, just because you said get +1 penetration from stuff in this system. And
Balefuli is both Laz and a Bionic, so you would get the
Yeah.
both bonuses, yeah.
yeah, it would be really good to get one of those. Like, no one needs it, but I'm just like, Belfly would be cool in this situation.
I mean, how good are you at wrangling stuff?
pretty good.
Because I could trade you a chameleon cloak.
What, for me taming your
Yeah.
spider? I have tamed my I haven't tamed it, but I
You've
have tamed
begun the taming. You've got it to accept your presence.
Oh yeah, you're actually no. Wait, hang on. Oh yeah, but you've been rolling on. Never mind.
my wrangling is intelligence.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
My intelligence is worse than my fellowship. It's just I take some minuses to fellowship sometimes. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we go for gold?
I mean, I've already failed. So
Right.
based on that metric, you're probably gonna succeed.
I would not.
Oh yeah, or we'll just keep failing again. So yeah.
I'm kind of assuming Tycho's got to go on a killing spree with his fucking. He'll piss people off and they'll piss him off, and then you just kill everyone. Fuck it. Well, let's go for the Bellfly. Like when it's this system is perfect for a Bellfly, basically.
Yeah, you wonder what the captain had. Right. What is the rarity?
Near unique, so -30, I think.
-40, -30 is extremely. So -40 plus 10 plus single, so you're going for +30, so that's bounces out, and then the commerce roll. So you're rolling on your profit factor plus commerce roll.
Okay.
Plus 12, so 32.
So 32. I'm gonna reroll. Come on, it'd be cool.
Oh shit!
You have yourself a Balefly.
Nice.
Well, just a regular quality, I guess, because we.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have gone with a higher quality thing anyway.
Yep. Now, all of you have now managed to get, apart from Alexander, bionics which all need installing, which mean medical tests. Bear in mind, Corbula, if you want to install the medical mechadendrite on yourself, there will be negatives because you're operating on yourself. Who would like to start? I assume you want the medical mechadendrite on first. You're muted.
I mean,
but
it's so hard to hear what he says when his voice box is turned off.
It's really defective. I should probably get a new one. Yeah, I'm gonna try and install the mechadendrite first.
okay, -30.
So breaking this thing. It's being so just a D100.
Well, no, it's a medical check. It's a medical check
Oh,
with -30.
okay.
Do you have any bonuses? Do you need like med kits or anything?
I have a med kit to give him.
Then that would be, what would the med kit?
Plus 20.
That's a 20.
Mhm.
That's a -10.
-10 overall.
That's 100.
That's 100.
I'm gonna re-roll that one.
You
Okay.
should.
Yep.
I'm gonna re-roll that one.
Stab yourself in the
Wait,
eye.
do you have fate points to re-roll it?
I have one left.
Okay.
This is my last one. I'm pretty sure I only did one re-roll so far, right?
Did you not re-roll your commerce check before? I'm imagining that.
No, that was me.
That was you. Okay, yeah, you've got one left then, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, you break the damn thing and you probably almost kill yourself.
So all right, here we go. Let's do this again. Minus 10. Oh, that's a 6. 5.4.
Yeah. You have installed it almost effortlessly on your own back using a mirror.
Yes, I just need to simply... there it is. And
Whirs around and I'm just kind of augmenting myself.
yes, Master Crow, I'm ready for you now.
And I get up off of the the table where I'm gonna do the surgery on Crow, wipe it down, and
Have you practiced with that thing yet?
Oh, it's very intuitive, Master Crow. There's nothing to worry about. I've read the manual several times.
You got the experience trait, right?
what's that? Sorry.
You got the experience trait for it?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I picked it up forever ago. Yeah.
I have half a bottle of Amasec and lay down.
Wait. Put this in as well.
What is that, Captain?
What, for me?
Yeah.
Do I get to consent to this?
Sure.
Captain, what is this?
It's a bellfly. It's a hidden weapon in the eye that fires.
Well, that's up to you. I have no issues installing it if you want it.
Crow?
It's only an eye. I mean,
Right, I have two already.
exactly.
Yeah, this is a hidden weapon.
But
It'll make you more useful.
What can I roll to try and decide this? Because I want to let the dice go with this.
I mean, it's kind of up to you. What do you think about having a hidden las gun in your eye?
Considering you're a police specialist.
I'd be tempted to put it in like Zinta's eye or something. Just hey, in the middle of like talking. Bzz.
How amazing would that be? Or like some subterfuge and some assassination.
Does this like hit pretty good? Is it? I guess it will look really cool as well.
He gives them
I considered who to push this on, and I was like, it makes the most sense for Crow.
Yeah, Crow will begrudgingly agree if it's the captain's suggestion.
Yes, perfect. Let me go get my optical device.
I reach into a drawer and pull out something that looks like a crude spoon. That's
Like
used.
a melon bowler or something. Like
Ice cream
identical,
scoop.
identical
Oh,
to that,
God.
yeah. And I get like a sharpening stone and start sharpening the edges.
Can we keep
Yeah,
this
so-
in case it goes wrong, please?
I simply need to sharpen the edge, just properly sever the optical nerve so I can...
Perhaps we can keep the old one just in case.
Oh, I
certainly can do that. I can put it in a vat of formaldehyde or something equivalent.
That sounds good. I don't have any medical training, so
yeah, that sounds perfectly fine. Corbulo, what would you like to go with first?
I'll start with the eye.
Okay, so the eye is going to be at -20 because it's quite close to the brain, but you've got a medkit for +20, and you've also got a medical mech interact, which gives you a plus.
I'm rolling 100 baseline now.
Okay, so -20 on the 100 baseline, so you're going to be rolling on an 80.
don't you kill me.
2.3.
Yeah, you install the baleful eye. Now you just have to go for the.
What are
Aha.
the adjustments for the place we're in?
+1 pen, +10 to bionic rolls. You
Well,
cannot-
no, you said something about Laz.
+1 pen for all
That
lance
was for the
weapons.
pen.
Yeah.
Yes, Master Crow, that should do it.
And I kind of like snap my fingers in front of his eye and wave my hand over it.
The optical sensors should be hooked up to the nerves. You should be seeing normally.
How do I shoot this thing?
I will give you a full rundown in the future. I recommend not using that feature for at least 24 hours.
I don't know how not to use it if I don't know what it is.
Just
don't know.
Just don't think about it.
Fine, I will.
I need to put you under for the procedure for the bionic heart. Won't be nothing but a minute.
And my mechadendrite kind of comes down, and it has 6 built-in like drug injectors, and one of them has a sedative, and it just goes into your neck, and you can see like the plunger go, and like the liquid goes in, and
Oh, that's cold.
Yes, you should be feeling very sleepy by...
And the second that he's out, I instantly start the procedure.
Okay, heart surgery. So we're going to be minus
Minor.
20 again. So roll on an 80.
It's just heart surgery.
Nothing major, guys. What was it? Minus 20, sorry?
Minus
Do it
20.
Do it well.
Well,
Do it well. Thank you, Tycho.
Let me think. So
Minus 10.
if it's minus 10, so the bonuses, I had plus 10 for so I'm rolling with a plus 10 overall.
You using the med kit?
Using the med kit, using the mechadendrite, and I have a 70.
Mechadendrite's a 10, right?
It is, yeah.
So
So that's
you're
that's 100 minus the 20. So
Plus
that's
40 with a
plus
med
10.
kit in total,
So
without
wait,
the
wait,
negatives.
and then minus 20, so plus 20 overall.
Yeah. That's even better again. All right. Here we go.
Don't kill me, please.
5.9.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Crow, you have a new heart.
thick skin. Wait, no, thick
I
skin.
finished the staples. The mechadendrite like kind of goes down as I'm holding the flesh on your chest together with my hands, and like the staples go.
So. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. And then I just inject him with the opposite of a sedative.
Sure.
Yeah, and then he
Meth.
comes to some meth. Yeah, some space meth.
What?
Crow,
Yes.
What?
you can't feel a pulse.
There's a strange whooshing noise coming from my chest. Is that normal?
Yes, you will adjust to the whooshing noise. It's optimal, I assure you.
Yep, your new heart, because it's good quality, doesn't pump. It's a turbine, so it's continuous flow.
And I kind of lean in a little bit and bump him with my elbow.
Welcome to the club, hey? You're one of you,
feel-
just like me now.
He's actually probably.
Oh, no, us.
Yes. The flesh is weak.
Oh,
I'm gonna go for a run. Goodbye.
It's ready for it. Test it out and let me know how it goes.
I will. Goodbye.
You.
I'm assuming I'm not quite safe to go for a sprint right now, but I also assume that I feel a lot better.
Oh, a lot. Like, you got 5.9 degrees of success. You'll feel a lot better. You'll be perfectly fine, easily by the end of the month, let alone the fact it was heart and eye surgery.
So I sprint down the corridor, go, pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Out of curiosity, now I can sprint. Do I have any more time to do extra requisition rolls? Or are we assuming
That's not
that...
how that works.
I optimized my traveling.
Yeah, are we? Because I know this is more of a GM thing. Are we going with like one per character?
Yeah, you can go with another one if you want. You get a minus 10, and if you fail it, you do piss someone off on the planet, and there are consequences. Generally, I would not advise it unless you desperately need it. You can get more if you just spend longer here, but if you spend longer here, you'll be losing out on other opportunities.
Oh, yes, like being stuck in the warp for 70 years.
Hey, I'm just saying, when the people on your station survived, I didn't say in what state they'd survive.
Yeah.
Also, there are other places you've been where you're like, we should come back to. They might not be there if you wait too long.
Okay, so we're going with like the one roll per month thing. Okay.
You've still got
that's
to
fine.
negotiate your trade treaty. You've managed to do. You've done a load of requisitions. You've done a load of conversing. You've overthrown a government. You've got your ship fixed. You've got a load of shore leave, and now you can kind of negotiate a bunch of treaties if you want.
I have put the Baleful Eye in the items in the frontier chat.
I want to see the exact stats on this because it keeps changing between editions.
It is.
It's a hell pistol in this one. Nice.
Yeah. It's 10 meters, single shot and semi-auto. 1d10 plus 4. Pen.
It's got a 40 clip?
40 clip. Wow.
What the?
That's the best edition of the Baleful Eye. Some of the other ones are like, it's one shot, that's it.
And also, it can be used as a pistol in melee.
Damn.
Can you use it as a free action?
No.
No, but you can use it with your hands full.
Yep. Also,
Right.
you are crackling. So you can have a two-handed weapon and use it, or you could have a one-handed weapon, a pistol, and a shield. Like, there are good advantages to that. It's really
What
good.
if we put a MIU weapon interface into Crow?
That's on my list of... I have a list.
We're going to homebrew those just because it means that you can make 3 attacks a turn, which I'm not really sure they intended for, but we'd homebrew it to still beneficial.
We'll
Probably
say-
going to be like, it takes away your reaction to fire it, which I think is totally fair. And I think it was in the first edition when they did Dark Heresy.
It's reasonable.
That's really nice. The Hell Pistol with 40 clip.
Yeah,
I don't have much ballistic skill, but
I didn't want it for myself, but the extra 1 pen is really nice, and I was like, if we could get one, why not?
I rolled to determine what technology they had, as every time you bump into a different society, I basically randomly roll them, and they have no plasma reactors at all, no navigators, no Juve treatment, no anti-gravity, no psychic tech of any kind, apart from very crude warp drives, and they've got terrible morale, but they have slightly good las and bionics. I was like, oh, well, they've got something. I wonder what you want. Oh, that makes sense.
And it made sense for Crow to have it because it's really useful in melee. So
I didn't realize it was that good.
Yeah.
One thing I would have liked to have possibly done over this month.
Sure.
The deficiencies that they have with their technologies, like the things that they're lacking. Would I be able to go down and meet with their Mechanicus and kind of give them like standard, like sanctioned plans and blueprints for like Imperial tech that everyone's just allowed to have? Like that's not like, you know,
sure, like, you know, standard, nothing like super special or anything, but like standard plasma reactors, etc.
Yeah, just to bring their general quality of life up to Imperial standards.
Or down to.
Okay, roll me.
Just one way or the other.
Are you doing that without talking to anyone about it?
No, I would have talked to you first.
You got so close. Okay.
I would have brought it up first.
Yeah.
Captain,
Yes.
I would like to go down and meet with the Mechanicus and discuss the directions of their technology over the past 2,000 years.
Right. So you're finding out what we can gain from them.
Gain from them, yes. There's probably caches of archaeotech that they are storing and protecting. It's just a typical exchange of ideas between Mechanicus. It's very normal and routine.
Of course. Take Alex with you.
Yes, absolutely. I'll go and let him know.
And I'll leave him in charge of the exchange of information. He is very good.
Well, in all due respect, Rogue Trader Boar, this is my responsibility. I have jurisdiction when it comes to Mechanicus. But I will 100% abide by your orders, and I have no issues bringing Alexander along with me, and he can monitor and overview everything I do.
Alex,
Yes, Captain.
make sure we don't trade for anything that isn't beneficial to us.
Of course, Captain.
Are you ready, Master Zinter?
Yes. Let's go trade.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, it does work slightly differently between the Machine Cult because effectively they tried to keep everyone at a vague level of base technology, whereas some places do have their own specialties, like certain Forge Worlds are very reluctant to trade some of their special secrets, but the basic secrets are generally traded between all Mechanicus. They don't like trading outside the Mechanicus, but Corbulo is right that the Mechanicus tend to keep the basic stuff pretty consistent. And that's part of the agreement with the Emperor and the Imperium as a whole, is that they will try and get technology as a whole relatively well dispersed. So you head down. You would be invited down. You would be invited down to the world in the primary biosphere, which has the second highest population of the system. It's not the home world itself, but it is very well populated regardless. We're talking, easily over 1 billion people.
Oh, it is populated. How big is the planet, curiously?
It is... Oh! Wow. Vast. With high gravity, thin atmosphere, pure thin atmosphere. It's a temperate world with limited ecosystem, with 2 major continents and 21 small islands.
Okay, so I assume the city centers are incredibly densely populated, but because of the atmosphere, the outskirts aren't. So
yep. It's thin, so people outside either fatigue quickly after exercise, or people go around wearing small oxygen masks or whatever.
Cool.
Generally, like, the richer people will. The poorer people have to put up with it. A lot of the cities sprawl over little networks of islands. Some of them are suspended over the ocean, but most of them take place on these huge, large continents that are kind of separate. And you are invited to one of these very specific cities. As you get closer, you realize it's not really a normal city so much as a small forge city. And it's entirely on the ocean.
Awesome.
Hmm.
That's quite interesting. The whole city seems to be suspended in the water.
I don't like it. It's unnatural.
I think that's why I like it, honestly.
Okay, so I'm guessing the plan is to see what we're lacking, what they're lacking, and then make sure that we can come up with a mutual exchange.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I was just gonna keep it super simple, because if I were to RP this, it would probably take forever. Is just say like what they're lacking, what I can provide, what they can potentially give us, just like a base. Like, and honestly, I'm willing to give freely of like base information. So anything like that.
Yeah. Here's the issue you'll encounter, like, because they'll be very open with you about a lot of stuff. They just can't tell you specifics. They don't really have any general improved technology other than they have their slight benefits to lances and bionics. The bionics is mostly because they make a lot of them.
Yeah.
The lads is because they do have some secrets that allow them to make lads weapons slightly more penetrating. They wouldn't really want to trade for that unless you gave them something particularly powerful, because that's their specialty and that's what they want to have the specialty being. Like, you know, the lathe worlds are really good at gravity manipulation. This world is particularly good at this, and they won't really trade that. But they're very happy to get access to basic Imperial tech, such as plasma reactors, even if it's not special stuff, just because they've lost those secrets.
Yeah, I'd say I have a file of blueprints of different technologies that I browse in my free time. Like, that's my leisurely activity.
What would you try and get out of them in exchange? Because they can maybe help you with some stuff. It's just they can't give you very mechanical secrets in exchange for base technology.
Honestly, I would just be looking for anything, because I mean, they're 2,000 years old, so it's possible that we may have lost something over the past 2,000 years that they have. So anything that's out of the ordinary, any potential archaeotech, I'm not looking for anything specific because I don't really know what they have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just at their whim.
And Sinter points out to Corbulo and anyone that's listening, it's not necessarily what we can trade in material goods right now. It's also the fact that we know that they have some secrets that they don't necessarily want to trade for base tech with, but we might be able to put them into contact with some other people that they would like to trade with. So there's also that side of this whole exchange.
You also do have archaeotech still on your ship if you wanted to trade that. FYI, just
I mean,
I'm not going to trade any of the architect.
Okay. Zinta, make a barter check at a -30 because the machine cult are very wary of outsiders. Corbulo, make a barter check at a +20.
What the? I rolled a 93.
Yeah, they don't even probably let you in the door. They probably, at some point, are like, you wait out here. And they go and converse with Corbulo a lot.
It's fine, Cinder. I'll be back out in a moment.
Yeah.
I'd probably come back not much longer.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna let you go anywhere if the captain told me to join you. So that's probably while your bartering fails, because I'm not gonna let you out of my sight.
No, that's you know what, and I would stay with you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, fellow tech priest. There really is nothing left for me or for us to gain from the things you have. Please make good use of the few technologies and blueprints that I have given you, and I look forward to your reconnection.
So you give them all that base technology freely?
No.
Corbulo.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
You get the trait here, Imperial Remnant. You get a +10 rolls to any fellowship rolls with the Imperial Remnant. Probably don't apply to people who don't know anything about technology, but anyone Mechanicus-wise or anyone high enough up in any of the like government or production chains or anything like that who would know about the technology and the implication it's had would totally count. So you get here, Imperial Remnant.
Yes, just one other thing before we leave. Would you be able to resupply our ship with armors and whatnot? Centaur, this is more your area of expertise.
Are you saying what we're currently missing from our resupplies?
Yes, if they may be able to give us. There's no specific new technologies or archaeotech that they can give us, but if there's something, maybe. It's really up to you.
Well, I mean, I've
fine
been
with us leaving and just giving them this information for free.
I mean, I've been stuck outside watching the waters roll in, and it's frankly quite unsettling. It moves in a weird way that just looks ominous. I wonder if there's anything below it.
I will give you the choice then. If you wish to trade your Peer Imperial Remnant down to just Peer Imperial Remnant Mechanicus, they will increase the range of your las battery on your ship.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something I would do. Because that, like, and just quickly out of character, that would, like, it's not trying to steal, like, new technologies, but if we can improve our situation, then yeah.
Sure. You can have a choice. You can either have your range increased, or you can have your range decreased, but your damage increased by 1.
Range increased.
Okay. Add +1 to the range of your las battery.
Correct.
Yes, Centaur, I managed to get them to come aboard and increase the capacities of our las batteries on the vessel.
Well, that actually does sound like quite a good trade then.
Yes, unfortunately, there were no vast stashes of archaeotech that I was hoping for.
You didn't go inside, so
Well, true.
Well,
But
that's unfortunate, but at least now we know.
yes, exactly. I think that's a fair trade. And I'm sure that when they get contact back with the rest of the Mechanicus, that things will improve in this sector greatly past what I've been able to do for them.
Yes.
both of you make scrutiny rolls.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a 99.
I mean, critical fail in this instance isn't really going to do anything. But, Alexander, although the city is a floating city and there's a lot of interesting technology going on here, you noticed that the city is stationary despite the fact that the sea is moving and there are waves. And as you were flying away, you noticed just through the lovely transparent ocean, very nice tinge of blue to it, what appears to be cables or lift shafts or something going down into the depths of the ocean, and a slight glow from the bottom.
I point that out to Corporeal as a look. Seems like whatever. It's not actually floating. It's just connected to the bottom with something there. So I'm guessing they have some type of part of the whole thing is just an underwater base of some kind.
Well, to be quite honest, I would be very interested in investigating it, but I feel as if they would ask for too much in return.
I mean, I think it's just good to know that.
Yes, I will keep it in my files that there's more here that we may come back and investigate in the future.
Yeah. Intriguing. Well,
given the month we're there,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at what point I've had heart surgery. Am I well enough to be pursuing any endeavors of my own?
Maybe some if they're limited, but like getting the items would take like a week or two, and then the surgery would take a week or so. So minimum you have, maybe a week.
Okay. If I have a little bit of time, I'd just like to ask around and see if they, if they have any like weapons research
And if so, what do they... I want to ask, very teetering around the topic of if they investigate the enemy's arsenal in any way.
Make an inquiry roll with you. Do you have tech use?
I don't have... I don't even have inquiry, so...
It's gonna be a crit success you'll need.
Yeah, I'll just roll a D100. It's just to ask around and see if there's any individuals that... No, that's fine. I mean, I do have a reroll to use, like my one reroll.
It could be quite easy to get this bad, considering what you're fishing for is a crit.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. And with my last little bit of time, I'm going to discuss with Tycho regarding sharing any military information with them, and perhaps if Crow is to prepare some documentations regarding Imperial Navy, Tactitia Imperialis, to help them assimilate into the Imperium a little more smoothly, because Crow's expectation would be if they've deviated at all, it's going to make their welcome a little less welcome. So, but not necessarily to give it to them, just to prepare the information for it.
Yes, prepare the information, but don't give them anything yet.
As you say, Tycho, hopefully you can use this as a bargaining chip, something to whet the appetite a little bit.
I think Sinter would just, if there's any time left, take that and see what trading houses are actually available in the system, because there might be specific trading houses that we can make trade deals with for specific goods, just setting up trade routes further into the Imperium, that kind of stuff, not necessarily anything specific, but just being like, ooh, this good is produced here for this price, let's just ship it over there, kind of thing.
Okay.
Or I guess essentially not necessarily even trade deals, but just act as the, let's say, trade agent for those houses.
Sure. Okay, so just to assess the situation here, just make a commerce roll. Be a -10 on it, just because this is a foreign system.
Yeah. Where is my commerce at? Yeah, it's over here. I rolled
It's hard
an
to
80.
assess what would really gain you a lot of money, since you've only just been here a little while. Things have been quite busy. You could attempt to, but it would be more of a gamble about whether you'd make money or not on it. With that, considering that you have your proper round of negotiations to do, I think it's probably a good place to end for tonight. And then next session, you have proper negotiations for really good profit factor, considering, like, I want to emphasize again that you, in one turn, managed to do something that was incredibly difficult, and every single thing they fired at you missed, which was effectively 8 different battery weapons, which didn't have negatives because of atmosphere, because they're designed to shoot through it. So, this is a worthwhile endeavor.
It went well.
Yeah.
It went really well.
Yeah, like, if you're for some reason rewatching this after the fact, and this is like 2021, this is the part that you should remember, not the stuff that comes before the spectacular failure.
Yeah, we're probably dead by now.
Yeah. So, with that, anyone want to talk about anything they're doing this week or anything important that's coming up?
What am I doing this week? I'm like, what day is it?
There's no Charlie Foxtrot again this week, but I will be replacing it with the TTRPG stories things that I'm doing, which the first video is up of that if you want to check that out. I read out a few classic roleplay stories like the Dread Gazebo, which apparently EE doesn't know.
What?
Yeah.
What is
the best story?
Yeah, Eric and the Dread Gazebo is like the classic D&D story.
There's even a Munchkin card of it.
Yeah. What else do we do? The Lord Sir Barrington as well. We read that one quickly. And There's one that was really funny that was about Old Man Henderson in a Call of Cthulhu game, which is just hilarious. So yeah. That's me.
Oh, and I did recall what I'm doing. There's no Blood Bowl on Friday, but there is some Don't Starve Together on Saturday instead. And if you, for some reason, and also me, for some reason, have enough energy, there will be a Talisman stream on Sunday. Last time we streamed that, it took 5 hours. It was time well spent.
And just a general message to the universe. Remember to take your bins out, guys.
Thank you for that. So, right,
Truth.
let's go figure out who we should be hosting. Following. You know what? Peachy's online saying heretical or blasphemous. Basically, he is. So that's a pretty good bet. We're gonna go and we're gonna host a Peachy. A sheepy? Yeah, we'll host a sheepy.
There wasn't even an attempt to do the joke, but you still did it.
He was great on roll for it.
I thought I was great on roll for it. He hasn't been on yet, right?
Something like that. Right, and raid done. Go raid him, go blow up his chat, enter Boom, tell him Boss sends his regards from orbit. And thank you for watching.